So I'm going to try something new where I'm just going to start recording the audio now because too often when Jack is on, we miss a lot of gold.
Yeah.
So I probably won't edit this.
It's like full time, but for podcasting. It's just me being the expert and then fucking everything up while Al Borland fixes it.
I just want to say the bullshit that I'm calling of Matt say I probably won't edit this. Like there's a fucking chance in hell that you're going to edit a goddamn thing.
I don't have to work tomorrow, and it is supposed to be in the 90s again, so it's not like I'm going outside of my house. I do have to mow my lawn, though, so that's going to be terrible, but I'm going to do it at like 8 in the morning.
You have a rider mower?
Yeah.
You should just do both at the same time. Edit on the laptop while you're mowing.
It's a zero turn, Jack. I take my zero
turn going to mow lawn, and he's going to be on her back.
My wife would never fucking mow the lawn. I've asked her to. She just says no. But it's a zero-turn mower, so it's not difficult. It is time-consuming, and I just bounce around a lot. Like this is what it looks like. If you're listening to this, it wasn't funny, but I just wiggled a bunch.
I liked mowing the lawn. The only thing I hated was when we switched to an electric one with a cord. I hated dealing with the cord, but now they've got wireless.
Like we were talking about those yesterday and how stupid like mowing a lawn with an electrical cord just laying across the ground is because
insanely stupid.
You're gonna fucking run it over. You're gonna electrocute yourself.
Yeah, and like my dog would always be wandering around, like getting tripped up in the cable. It's just stupid.
Brock was pretty stupid.
Yeah, I had a dumb dog.
So since we're doing this all ass backwards, this is episode 130 of the podcast here.
That table.
Production of the Galactic Network. jncast.com/pod. You've heard this 129 times. 130.
This is the introduction. Are we live? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing this however the fuck I want to. I'm very warm.
This before or after my intro?
No, I'm getting to your intro.
No, you don't get an intro. You are a co-host of the show.
The promo.
That was established when I was in Michigan last year.
Oh, this will be after. This will be after your trigger warning.
Yeah, the promo thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, that's host of worst episode ever, 90s percentile, friend of the show, potential serial killer Jack Picone.
Hey, potential, huh?
Potential.
Yeah, I only know you so well.
Future or current? If
I
was going to start, I could think of who I'd want to start with.
plead the fifth.
Okay, everybody name. Who would you kill first? Or if you only had one. If everybody gets one.
No, Matt, first, second, third, whatever.
What? Did you just say you were going to kill me 3 times?
So I've acted like I was going to hesitate? Oh, I don't know. Oh, I guess Matt.
I don't know if we necessarily need to kill one of the 4 of us.
No, that was out of everybody.
I'm trying to like give Jack a reason to not. You know what? Apparently Jack hates me and wants to kill me.
Sucks because I thought I had dibs, but god damn it, Jack jumped on that fucking one right away.
If there's ever a real life purge, I'm terrified. You guys are all coming for me. This is the one time Jack actually comes to visit is just to kill me.
Matt, I want you to know mine's coming from love. I feel very comforted by the idea of cuddling up in your carcass.
I would hate fuck you to death. Carcass is a great band, by the way.
Of course they are.
That usually ends a conversation.
My wife was so impressed. She's like, Matt's at this concert. I said, and she goes, it's called Dying Fetus.
Yep, Dying Fetus and Pig Destroyer.
And she's like, just be that person for a minute that just says, yeah, I was out seeing one of my favorite bands, Dying Fetus.
It was also
really tickled by that.
It was also a beer release, which is even better. So that is like my safe haven.
And you were drinking Toasted Abortion?
Oh my god, that is the greatest fucking. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to write a letter to that brewery because they did a beer with a Pig Destroyer called Permanent Funeral, and they also did one with Cannibal Corpse called Amber Smashed Face.
Amber Smashed Face. We've all been at the party with her.
No one's getting. Oh. Anyways, there's a 4th voice. I see him over there. Can't hide from me, Geoff. He's been a guest on Wii Studio shows. He's apparently the kicker for the New York Predators, which I learned. Apparently his brother's the MLS star and current Red Bulls coach. Didn't know that. Geoff, I don't remember how to say your last name. Oh, now we lost Geoff. Jack turned him off. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Nope. Can't hear Jack either. Wow. I thought you guys were real quiet there for a while.
This is the challenge. This is you saying that you were going to or that you weren't going to edit the episode, and now you actually have the opportunity.
Oh, I mean, I have a lot of opportunities to always edit our episodes. I just never do it.
Right.
There it is.
How about now?
Yeah.
So I wonder how long you didn't know.
You guys were quiet for a real long time, and that's when I made sure to mention Geoff.
I've just been quiet.
Did you get the part in where I said I was going to kill you?
Yeah, I did. I got all of that. Thanks. I didn't get the part where Geoff tells me how to say his last name, so I don't butcher it.
Never hold up in court.
Let's pick up there.
It's Wallenick or
Wallenick. Oh, I was like, maybe it's Wolniak.
No,
I've already forgotten because I kind of been drinking on and off all day.
You can figure that it's not Walleniak if you just look at how it's spelled and
no, like Wolniak.
It's almost as if we came up with the system of characters and the rules to apply
them. You know what? Explain that to someone, and when you're telling them that the K is silent. It's not silent in kitchen, but it's silent in knife.
K is the silent killer.
Should be an itchin.
It's also missing from my name.
What? Did you lose it somewhere?
It's not just silent, it's invisible.
Completely missing.
Well, there's silent Ks and there's invisible Ks.
It's one of the invisible ones.
It's a very complicated language.
Like did you say like your mother?
Oh, I said like your mother.
Oh, that would have been even better. English language is complicated like your mother. So anyways, I don't know. You guys were silent when I was trying to talk to Geoff about. I didn't realize. Maybe Jack told me and I just thought he was lying. When he sent me this, I thought he was making this up. I didn't realize you really kick for a semi-professional football team.
Well, I mean, semi-pro is a generous description.
It's semi-pro. But it's a big jump from one to the other, from that to the other.
Right. I mean, college is the real semi-pro. Even though they don't get paid or whatever, but we're below that.
But they probably have the best. Google it if you haven't already, Matt. They have the best logo in, I would say, all football.
Yes, I saw all of their fucking flyers have the Predator on it. That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Where can I get one of your jerseys, your sports jerseys? Does eBay have?
I don't know. The owner runs a website. It's nypredators.net. Maybe you can get it through there.
Oh, I'm finding one. Even if I have to iron on letters, I will get a Geoff jersey because I still can't say your last name. Yeah, I mean,
the back of the jersey's got Geoff's number, just a bunch of question marks over it.
It's got 32 Ks going across it, and then you have to figure out how many of them are real.
They're all silent. 2 of them are invisible. I kind of want to talk about your footballs here. Did you play football in high school, or were you a soccer player, and then they're like, hey, this guy can fucking kick?
The way it came about was after, college, I was coaching Farrell high school soccer. And this team rented the field after we had our practices, and they would watch me shoot on the kids, and I would just kick the ball as hard as I could at these kids, and they loved it. They would just get in the way and get hit, or dodge it or whatever and scream and yell. And it was, it was the cool down that we had at the end of practice. And they asked me to kick a few footballs, and I've been playing there for about 8 years now. We got one national championship under our belt. I got actually MVP of that game. I had 2 40-plus yard field goals and a fumble recovery on a kickoff, and we won 20-0.
So, do you play around the country or just around New York?
I mean, it's regional, and then so we'll play anywhere up to Boston and down to Virginia, and then nationals are in January in Florida. We play through most of the winter.
Say, out of all the times we play video games, how did this never ever come up? There, you're like, yeah, I'm at football practice.
We're focused on the game.
I haven't had practice. This season hasn't started yet. We haven't.
We started playing back in fall.
Oh, then I must have been at practice a few times.
Yeah. Well, usually Jack's like, "Hey guys, do you want to play video games?" Because Jack doesn't do anything when he gets home from work. God bless his heart.
I'm actually the star quarterback of the Predators. He got MVP only because I turned it down. They were like, you should get MVP, and I was like,
"No thanks,
not today. I'm good, thank you." It was like when Tom Green took the bum song off the top of TRL. I did that, but with the championship MVP.
That's fun.
Just jump in anytime here, Matt.
About.
Feel free to guide me as host.
Nope. That's not what I'm here for.
That's why you're number one.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Yeah, I usually just get drunk and then I let Corey and the guest handle things while I stare blankly at the wall. That's all I
this
handle.
time, man. You're master of your own fucking destiny this time.
Fuck. And apparently 2 of you want to kill me. Jeff may want to too, but Jack turned him off, so I wasn't able to hear that 3 of the 4 people here want me dead. And after hearing all that, 4 of 4 people want me dead. Jack, could you please narrate my suicide note?
Oh God, yes, I will.
I don't know if Jack can really. He'll have to practice a lot to get that pattern down of like that sadness and empty lack of fulfillment. That seems like, I don't know. That's Jack's stick.
I don't know. That's a bit of a stretch for me as an actor.
I don't think Jack really fully understands what it is to be 100% dead inside. I almost felt bad saying it. So a couple weeks ago, Kevin was on, and you may have mentioned.
On the show,
Kevin Howard. Yeah. So Kevin is the 4th to our mighty faggot.
A couple of weeks ago, Kevin was on meth. As you know.
Well, the video he posted about him being terrified of the raccoon. Wouldn't be surprised he got into some meth.
Kevin Howard, I'm sure your guests had a good time. I mean, your listeners had a good time listening to that episode because he puts on the best Facebook Live videos. He always finds something weirdly mundane and then makes it so fucking hysterical.
Yeah, that was my first interaction with a Kevin Howard original Facebook Live video, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. We were playing PUBG at the time, and I think Geoff was probably yelling at Jack and I because we were standing still in the middle of a field watching this video. I was listening to it. That was pretty good.
Yes, no, that's why we had to get Geoff on because you guys have gotten to know each other so well over the past few months. We play PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds as a unit pretty often. I gotta say, this game is like taking over my life. I haven't been addicted to a game like this since like Modern Warfare 2, maybe like 10 years ago.
Yeah, unfortunately, I went disc golfing today in the terrible, terrible heat when you asked me to play video games.
So it's okay. I was supposed to be editing worst episode ever, so it's fine.
Man, you got to live that no edit life. Just let it fly.
Yeah, no.
Leave all the silence in there.
He gets to cheat and put out a second episode of all the shit he cut out of the first one.
I thought about doing that with this one, or just editing it down and then releasing the full length because this is our last episode for a while.
This is season finale.
Season finale. I guess we're a season show now.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I just, as I've complained about, I have too much goddamn yard work to do, and I need my Sundays for yard work.
I understand. I'm not judging.
Let's go with that. No, I'm just trying to think of a reason why I'm making Corey take the summer off.
It's a bad one, but yeah, let's go with
it's not good at all. I mean, fucking a reason. It is a reason.
I don't know. If we're switching over to meta podcast talk right now, it drains you. It's nice to take at least even a couple months off.
It's definitely a ton of work, and I know and Corey has said he usually takes my dick out of his mouth to say it, but he talks about how much fun he has hanging out.
Usually, but the nice thing is that your dick in my mouth doesn't really disrupt my ability to speak clearly.
He can just cheek it.
Here's something here's something I want to pose, a thought experiment that I bet you is fucked up, and now that I think about it, it's totally true. So I was going to say, look, you guys are good friends. You've developed a nice relationship. I don't think you knew each other too well before you started this show, right?
No, not really
but now
at all.
You're genuine friends. Now, if you take 3 months off the podcast, when's the next time you're actually going to have a conversation? Because if you do call each other up or Skype or FaceTime and you talk for 2 hours just to catch up as friends, you're going to be like, fuck, we should have recorded this. This is gold. Because I don't think I could have a 2-hour conversation with Dan without recording it. Not long distance. We have some good shit like when we're just hanging out in person. We're like, fuck, we're recording this. Isn't that fucked up?
No, it really is. I mean, I'm sure we're going to be releasing something out throughout the summer. I have some plans.
Matt Skypes me every night just so he can masturbate and fall asleep.
Oh, okay.
So I imagine I'm still gonna.
I've gotten close enough with Corey's wife too, where when Corey goes to sleep, I just FaceTime her.
That's true.
Sets up the camera, and when Corey starts to drool and it pools on his pillow, that's when I have earth-shattering jizz situations. Top 5 boners occur. There's jizz everywhere.
When you saw 2 sets of drool, one of them wasn't.
I do want to point out that Beatmaster in the chat thinks that the next season of PoT will be picked up by Amazon or Pornhub.
Oh, that would be great.
We're open to both, so get at us.
I fully expect Amazon to be acquired by Pornhub.
Well, in Aliens, Weyland Yutani, the Weyland Yutani Corporation, that's actually it's Amazon and Pornhub. Those are the two, 300 years ahead of time. They develop into it.
I don't hate that idea.
Yeah, we're gonna do a Redux, like a Ridley Scott Redux, and it's gonna be instead of Weyland Yutani, it's just Bezos Yutani.
Well, in this country, because otherwise it's Alibaba and RedTube.
Before or after we do Gremlins 3.
It'll happen. It'll happen. It'll happen.
Yeah. But we have to do it before Gremlins 3 actually comes out. Otherwise,
no, we're going to be really meta about it and do it.
Yeah, we're going to do it
the week of
3 years after it comes out. You guys didn't see my 2008 podcast, Rocky Balboa? I did a speculative Rocky 6.
Wow.
3 years after it came out.
Next year, we're going to follow it up with Creed.
Yeah. Creed 2.
The band?
Dolph Lundgren's coming to my school in a couple days to do a Q&A.
Do you get to meet him?
No, it's a different campus. Usually the big stars go to our LA campus.
Does that all the time.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed when I went to see Creed in the theater and it didn't have Scott Stapp in there.
Oh my God. I thought you were going to say about how you went and saw Creed live and you were disappointed and I was going to come over there and slap you. I was going to walk to California and be like, how dare you?
I told this Creed story on my other podcast from, I think maybe 90s. It might have been but when I saw Creed with my brother and his girlfriend, we were in the theater and somebody was coughing in the back row the entire time.
Damn it.
And it was so annoying. And finally, like, everybody's like looking back and trying to be polite. And finally somebody says, like, can you please shh? And this little old lady just goes, what? I have cancer. Because I'll be dead in 3 months. I just want to watch the movie. Oh, that was it. Nobody said anything to her directly. They got an usher, and this 16-year-old kid comes in with a flashlight, and he's like, excuse me, man, you can't cough it. She just tells this 16-year-old kid who's making $9 an hour, she's like, I'm dying. This is all I have. And he's like, well, you have to leave. They want to watch the movie. We're trying to watch the Creed here. Go die somewhere else, lady.
Here, I thought you were talking about Creed
throat cancer from making me feel verklempt all the time is the unnecessarily oily popcorn here at the theater. This is my only essence of life is here.
If you remove me, I'll die.
It's like my medical marijuana.
Oh, wow.
So that's my Creed story. It's an okay movie.
Does anyone have any stories about the band Creed? Because that's what I want to talk about.
Well, I was at this Creed concert, and this woman in the back started coughing.
How could you hear her over the thunderous booms of Scott Stapp's angelic voice?
With eyes wide open.
I was thinking it when you sang it, and it's like, oh my God, he's the songbird of our generation.
The old lady is waiting to see if you can take her higher to a place with golden streams.
Oh my God.
That is the worst. It is the worst song.
What?
The Golden Stream song?
I don't know why you got to be shit talking Creed in front of me.
Because I can't do it in front of Creed.
It's also easy.
It's goddamn, you guys.
Did Pig Destroyer ever open for Creed?
I wish. I don't know if Pig Destroyer and Creed were a band at the same time.
They should form a supergroup.
Creed Destroyer or Pig Creed?
Creed Destroyer would automatically. That's already getting some good SEO on Google. Yeah.
I would do it. It's a band. It's a cover band called Creed Destroyer, where you only cover Pig Destroyer or Creed songs.
We should do a limited edition 13-episode podcast called Creed Destroyer, where we just talk about a hypothetical band.
Okay,
let's do it.
Yeah, but we'll run for the first 45 minutes and talk about nothing but Dogstar with Keanu Reeves, because that's what we do. We don't fucking get to the point.
I've never actually listened to that band. How bad are they?
I don't know. No one's listened to the band. I don't think they exist. I think it's like Wild Stallions.
Performance art. What if we told them we had a band?
It's the Cartman method, where you just don't let anyone in. What's Keanu's band's name, Corey?
I think it's Dogstar.
Dogstar. Oh, they got music on Spotify. One song. Oh no, there's a whole album.
Yeah, no, their hit song was
Holy shit! This one album is 28 songs long.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's called The Complete Collection. Go figure. Just gonna go ahead
I've heard of Unplugged, but Unabridged.
All right, so we have to do Gremlins 3. We have to do Creed Destroyer. What
We
other?
gotta
Yeah, we should.
you got all that yard work.
Yeah, but this would give me a reason not to do it.
And then your dog gets bit by a tick.
Ugh, fuck, I don't want to talk about
Cut
that.
those weeds. Was Gremlins 3 worth it?
My wife got
Oh,
bit by a
it's never-
spider last week. And just at 4 o'clock in the morning, she shakes me awake and she's like, get up. And I'm like, the fuck you doing? And she's like, I got bit by a spider. Okay. Is it coming after us again? Do I have to worry now? Like, what the fuck?
Spiders just going through your wallet.
Done. It's happening.
And she wakes me up and asks me to dispatch the spider because it didn't just die, which I would have thought. And then I have to chase around the fucking house and find Benadryl for her and all this stuff. And I'm like, I gotta be up in an hour. And then she wants to talk to me about it. She's like, it hurts. Yeah, I know it fucking hurts. You got bit by a fucking spider. Well, what color was it? Bitch, I don't know. I can't even see yet. My eyes don't work until 6 a.m.
My penis doesn't work till then either.
No.
Matt, you didn't see any of this on the FaceTime? You didn't see all right?
I don't want Corey to know exactly how long these FaceTimes last.
Got mad ejaculate as a salve.
Oh, Jesus.
We're having fun.
Yeah. I don't
So what do we do before we talk about Tremors? You don't do horror movie news anymore.
No, we just do whatever the fuck we want, which is what we're currently doing.
Oh, are we live? Is this on yet?
That's a classic Jack Picone.
Gotcha. You got your act.
I like how you're really pulling all of your bits from your shows and just bringing them up over here.
Yeah, it's like I'm pulling a Dana Carvey.
Yeah, nothing wrong with
Here's
that.
Jack's dad.
Yeah. When do we bring in Dan to start doing all of his voices?
Jack doesn't do characters.
Yeah, I don't
No,
do
he
that.
doesn't. I don't blame him one bit. I am curious what you're drinking because I see both of you have fun-looking cans.
Oh, I made sure we had plenty of beer because I knew last time I didn't have beer and you were very disappointed in me as a Podcast Terra guest. I have Hell or High Watermelon.
Ooh.
I didn't know that was the name of it till just now. That's very funny. I saw watermelon. I was like, I'm in.
Which is odd because it tastes like raspberry.
Yeah, Hell or High Water. Also, I don't know if this is true or not, but the cans have like a weird Planet of the Apes vibe. Like one was a monkey in an astronaut suit. This one is a Statue of Liberty on the Golden Gate Bridge, which the Golden Gate Bridge was in the reboot Rise of the Apes.
And then also the can randomly shits in its hand and throws it at you.
Yeah, yeah. It was an interesting feature.
How is it?
I like shitty beers. So
We're
like
not
I like sweet fruity beers. Like
saying- So do
I get made fun of for that.
No, there's nothing to be ashamed of. I have a strawberry rhubarb beer in my fridge. I also have a sea salt watermelon one. It's pretty fucking good.
What is that? What you're drinking right now?
No, right now I have I actually have 3. I have it's called Deal with the Devil,
Mm-hmm.
the double IPA. Got it from 18th Street Brewery when I was down at the Pig Destroyer show. Next, I have it's a collaboration piece between Omnipollo and Evil Twin. It's called Rainbow Aid.
These could all be Creed album titles.
And last
Rainbow
but not
Aid
least-
is the special concert that they did in trying to support Scott Stapp's unemployment.
Yeah, that's not
But
wrong.
what
Last,
about child support?
oh, it's over here. Last one I have is called Sploing.
Nice, nice.
Yep.
Which is the sound effect for the Batman episode that Jack is in.
Sploing. Jeff, what are you drinking?
Back in Black IPA.
Bam.
I was thinking the same thing. And I didn't want to get you in trouble with the rights.
We don't monetize, so I don't think they really can.
Oh.
Because we're not making money off of someone else's.
No, just sell the data. That's what we do. You just sell all your listeners' data to Cambridge Analytica. You make a lot of money. I give them everything.
So how much can I get for 6 people? And the worst part is one of them is on the show right now, so 5 for this episode.
Yeah, but he's so into the show that he was like, oh yeah, you guys don't do news anymore. It's been 2 years. It's been 2 fucking years since we did news.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not doing it for profit. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm giving it out pretty much as like, I just think it's funny to give it out. I do it to spite everybody.
Is that why I never get a
That's Matt and sex.
I'm like the joke. I'm like a really shitty Joker. See, that's why I got the crooked angle.
Oh Jesus!
It's like a really shitty Joker plot, like the first draft of Dark Knight. He just sells everybody's data.
In Gotham by Gaslight 25.
He's like, I fucked you. And everybody's like, yeah, whatever. He's like, no, I fucked you. You're all fucked. Yeah, whatever. What's on TV? New American Idol, ABC, huh?
Jesus. Corey, what kind of root beer do you have?
I am finishing strong with a Sprecher Fire Brewed root beer craft soda.
That's
it is not bad.
I just dropped a can. Sprecher's in Milwaukee. It's from my motherland. Jack, so sorry, speaking of fruity beers, this has grapefruit, passion fruit, mango, raspberry, and blueberry in it.
That sounds delicious. The blueberry especially.
Yeah, it's pink.
Yeah. See, you can't go to AA for drinking something like that.
That's true. You got to go to a My Little Pony
That's good.
celebration. You just like, hey, Matt, you're a brony. No, I'm not. Well, you are if you're drinking that shit.
Apparently, there's a brony convention that happens not too far from where I live.
Apparently.
And they get together, they celebrate My Little Pony, and then they have to go door to door and knock and say, hey, by the way, I'm a sex offender. And
I drink pink beer.
I drink pink beer. Oh, there's one in Milwaukee. It's called
go.
Ponyville Cider Fest. I would totally go.
We'll record it. We'll make it a whole like one when Conan goes to Sweden. One of those bits.
I've been trying to find someone to go to the gathering of Juggalos with me.
No, I don't want to die.
I don't think you'd die.
I feel like I'd get beat up.
Why?
Let's say something stupid. Like, I'd get really drunk and really high, and I'd say something stupid to the wrong Juggalo, and he'd jug me right in the chin. We don't like that talk here around Juggalos. Juggalos don't care for that kind of talk, sir. I'll be like forced to go into like a Juggalo duel.
They put people in like stockades and shit for doing dumb stuff. You just end up in Juggalo jail. Juggle jail.
15, I'd be in the stockade by 6:18.
There's nothing wrong with that.
3 whole minutes.
Yeah.
Jack be sitting in a stockade with the little sign above and says for unlawful carnal knowledge, except the K would be silent and invisible.
Carnal knowledge. You could probably slap skins with some sluts.
But that's how I got in the stockade.
Just trying to have sex with this weird Juggalo chick up in the stockades.
That's my Juggalo law wife. You leave her alone.
Jesus. Did you just say Juggalo law wife? Is that like common law? But you've been Juggalos for 7 years, so now you're married?
That was gonna make it.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Didn't you establish that for Juggalo law, you just basically, you don't have a legal marriage, you just keep her toe in your freezer?
No, it was her pinky, or you just share 37 3 liters of Faygo Moon Mist.
Can I say something? Before we continue? I don't know anything about Juggalos. I've never listened to an ICP song in my life. I have no idea what they're like.
I got my first underage drinking wearing an ICP hockey jersey.
Matt, you have a couple Juggalo movies on your
Are you a Juggalo? After all my Juggalo jokes?
When I was younger, I totally was. They did make 2 movies, and I think they're both fun. I think they're funny people. Like they did ICP theater on.
You used to have a show.
You were a Jug
They
Cup.
would watch other people's music videos.
ICP theater. It was fucking hilarious. I think they're funny people.
Yeah, that's Twitch now.
That.
Really?
Yeah, it turned into Twitch. That's where it got its start.
Oh,
it's a joke. I jugged you.
Yeah, I got really excited. You chugged me. I got really excited.
You just got jugged.
Fucking Kevin is correcting. I don't know who said it. Probably me, because a female Juggalo is a Juggalette.
I was gonna say Juggalette, but then I changed it for you. If you were a young Juggalo, you'd be a Jug Cub.
Juggalette, the best Juggalo can get.
Like a Jub Scout. How come I can't see? I have the group chat open. I don't see anybody.
YouTube comments.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's the group chat for a little hangout sesh. I get it.
Yeah. So you have to.
Yeah. What was Kevin correcting? I'm sorry. Oh, the Juggalette.
Juggalette, yeah. So you just have to go into the thingy and launch the
Juggalette was first designed by Gargamel to infiltrate the other Juggalos, and then he grabs the Juggalos and turns them into gold.
We've all seen the
gold,
modern reboot of that. We get it.
Fuck. What are we talking about? Why are we here?
Juggalos? Famous for all time.
You're talking about Tremors.
No, not yet. We're still talking about ICP. Excuse me. The greatest music group of our generation.
Yeah.
We went from Creed to ICP.
Second to Creed.
In that relation, yes, ICP is the greatest music of our generation. If it's coming from Creed was the other choice.
Right. If you had to listen to Creed or ICP for the rest of your life, who would it be?
ICP.
How many pencils can I fit in my eardrums?
Well, I would go with ICP solely based on the fact that they have a much larger discography. So you would take longer before you had to repeat a song.
Yeah, but I'd still be listening to ICP.
I'm not like that. I know, I get that. That's the whole point.
It's like, hey, in one scenario, I get more bamboo shoots underneath the fingernails. So obviously I'm going to lean towards that.
Would you rather hear Higher like every 30 hours, or
you didn't say we had to listen to it all the time? It wasn't like the situation was if you were stuck, if you were in a room and someone was dripping water down on your forehead and all that was going on at the same time is you had Creed albums playing in the background or ICP albums in the background, then yes, maybe I would have leaned towards the ICP.
They did that of Homeland.
Now I know why Claire Danes cries that whole fucking show.
Exactly.
I thought of another podcast, Insane Creed Posse.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Okay.
We'll get the Doug demo. We'll get the Creed demo.
Yep. We'll just put them together. We'll put ICP's Bitches over the audio, the instrumental track of Higher.
Right.
You know, honestly, if I was in Insane Clown Posse or if I was Scott Stapp, I would immediately make the show happen. I would call the other one up and be like, let's do this. And they just co-host a show.
That'd be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Trademark. We're trademarking it right now. May 27th, 2018, 7:41 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Just talk about Gremlins 3 the whole time.
Guys,
time to do the show,
guys, you just fucked it up for Scott Stapp. He's been in hiding as a juggalo for the last 3 years, trying to avoid child support. The witness protection program has now have to relocate him to a completely different thing.
You think in real life, like the FBI ever put somebody in like an ICP community like that?
Your witness protection.
Yeah, you're Tony Bombats. You just like ratted out all your best cousins. No. They're gonna find you somewhere. Where do they put you? They put you.
Even he made the choice that he wanted to listen to ICP for the rest of his life.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yep. So this leads me to the question. Someone asked me this about a week ago, and now I want this conversation to happen right now. If you had to, so you have to choose one. This isn't Creed or ICP. It's not that good. Okay. So you either have the option to watch your parents have sex 24/7 forever, or join in for 15 minutes.
Oh my! Who comes up with this shit?
My friends.
Join in for 15 minutes because it takes longer than that for my dick to even start working.
I wanted to know like how much it like. So here was my take on it. I was like, how involved do I need to be? Can I just like rub my dad's back and cheer him on? Like,
no, you have to. There has to be some penetration.
Yeah. So then my thought was, you know what?
Digital or oral are okay, but deep.
So my thought was, I'll watch. So say it's on TV. You could just fucking not look at your TV, or put a TV in front of the TV playing your parents having sex. Technically, it's on 24/7. You can't see it.
Oh, if it's watching TV while having sex, then it's like having sex now.
Why are you watching TV while having sex?
Why not?
No, I totally agree. I've gotten my wife to have sex with me by letting her watch Anchorman.
I've definitely had oral sex performed on me while I was watching Lou Laporte on Tech TV, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life.
It was probably the time I called in and he was a dick to me.
He was getting dick for me.
What do you think, Corey was so excited?
She's treating my future friend poorly, and this turns me on.
I was trying to find a really good time to go to the bathroom, and I found it.
Oh yeah. Jack takes tons. Jack takes a shitload of pee-pee breaks, even while we're playing video games. And every time it goes, oh, it's a pee-pee break. And
the unprofessionalism of us last week of just finishing up the episode. It's like, fuck it, we have to pee. See you later, everybody. You know, and now this is like the next level.
Well,
I was bringing it.
I prepared to have to take a pee break in this one. I assumed it would take a little longer. I brought a bucket to pee in. That's not true. But
you have to eat all the chicken first.
The thought crossed their mind, though.
It totally crossed my mind. I could just piss out the window. Wouldn't that be something for YouTube? Just my bare ass hanging out the window while I'm peeing
from a seated position.
From the seat, so I'd have to get just the proper arc to hit the fucking window.
My wife was posting about her spider bite, and she was like, "It still really fucking hurts," and all of my mom and her aunt and all these people in our family and stuff were like, "Oh, that's too bad," and all these cures and stuff. And I'm like, "I'll pee on it when I get home." And this is just like, this is what our family thinks about us.
Yeah, it could be worse.
I could have posted the Facebook video of me peeing on it.
Yeah. I mean,
Facebook Live?
Yeah, if you could Facebook Live you peeing on your wife's spider bite.
Probably.
I'm waiting for it. Please let me know.
Like I said, it takes me at least 15 minutes before anything starts working, so it's just dead air.
You should get that looked at. Geoff, how quickly can your penis be in action?
Timeless.
It's just, oh man, it's like you just have a light switch on your side and it's just boo. Nothing wrong with that, man. I'm proud of you.
We can't see Geoff's lower half of his torso at this point, so as far as we know, he could just have Wood kicking it down there. Like, look at Jack just do a giant step over right now. That is perfectly timed in the video.
Geoff, are you sitting where Jack sleeps? His head? Are you on his head side?
Do anyone?
Yeah. I jumped like 5 feet off a rock the other day on Governor's Island on Friday. And like I just jumped like basically I jumped like survived 4 or 5 steps. And I felt both of my ankles just completely shatter. Like I can't jump.
So you know you're getting old.
At least you tried something. It was something physical that made you react that way. It's like sometimes I'm just walking and all of a sudden my leg says, "Hey, fuck you." I don't know why you're relying on me all this time.
I'm done working today.
Sorry, guys. We're having slight technical difficulties. I tripped over a wire, and we can't hear you very well. We're just going to fix that real quick.
Oh, God damn it. Why do we even have these guys on?
Because they really want you to have to work for it now. They want you to have to edit.
Fucked up.
No.
So, oh my God, this is the fucking worst.
It's fun watching someone else actually have to deal with this, though.
I just want to.
We're back.
I just want to listen to Creed.
Can you take me higher?
See,
Jack, I really know no other songs in those two.
That's all you need.
That song.
Oh, didn't they do "Steal My Sunshine"?
Who sang that song?
Hey Scott, do you Len L-E-N?
Yeah.
Do you like butter tarts? I was riding on a hill. You know, I don't know the words. I know the beats.
This band that I'm listening to now, Charlie Bliss, did a really good live version of "Steal My Sunshine."
I wonder if I could dig it up real quick. I bet I can't. I don't. It's probably buried somewhere. I wrote a Weird Al parody of that song called oh fuck, what was it?
Give a butter tart Yule-log.
Shit, I forgot.
When I was a teenager, I wrote a Weird Al style parody of Warrant's Cherry Pie called Turkey Pie, and it was all about pot pies.
Am I the only person that didn't write Weird Al style parodies to songs
in human history? Yes,
apparently.
Yeah, you and Coolio.
Jeff, did you do Weird Al style parodies?
Well, I mean, I might have sang them. I don't know if I wrote
Jeff
them.
once got in trouble in physics class one year. The teacher yelled at him because he was in the corner of the room singing Muppet Babies.
Behind me.
Oh, it was somebody else, right?
Yeah,
was the teacher June Cleaver and you could never see her face?
Oh my god.
Oh,
It was no, it was a physics lab. So it was all we all sat at square floor to a table.
Me and Geoff had so much fun in that physics class. Once we had what are those little carts for the physics
Hulk car.
experiments? The Hulk car. We had to do some experiment, but the entire time we just recreated the last scene from Back to the Future with like the cable and like the car had to go and hit it at the right moment. And we just recreated the whole thing. What is going on here? What are you doing? We're like, yeah, it's Back to the Future. He's like, all right. We got away with it. The teacher liked us. Once he did a whole slideshow that he was so proud of, and me and Geoff were sitting in the front row, and the lights are out, and it's like we're watching this stupid presentation. So the whole time we just start ripping out pieces of loose leaf, and we made a whole thing of popcorn, and then we waited for the right moment, and then just threw up. Boo! Boo!
It was terrible.
When I was in tenth grade,
clean those up.
Yeah, okay.
When I was in 10th grade, my science teacher, we convinced him because he was like, "Oh yeah, I could bring it in," to bring in the the actual movie projection, because that was how we had it in the 80s, of his wife giving birth.
That's fucked up.
No, what's fucked up is that after it was done, I convinced him to reel it in backwards.
That's amazing.
Jesus.
That's amazing. You have to do put in like a car crash sound effect or something.
Yeah.
That's how babies are done, right? I don't know. I haven't dated.
In and out. In and out.
By the way,
and to the left.
By the way,
Back to the left.
Oh no, that's not right. God damn it! It was there was a "Steal My Sunshine" parody. Was called. So what's rhymes with "Steal My Sunshine"? Oh, "Conquer Mankind," and it was about an alien invasion. It was like, I beg you to spare me if you conquer mankind, probing my anus. Oh no, please, if you conquer mankind, wishing you were just E.T. If you conquer mankind. I was thinking while you burn the army using razor heat. Hey, Mork never hurt Mindy. And eating cats, Alf only lacked in his morality. But human heads is what you eat. And it goes on. It's a whole thing.
No one said stop.
Yeah, even if that was it, that was amazing.
Now, Bugs Bunny, besides funny, he kicks some Martian meat. Poor Marvin, he just always beat. But us, we gotta run instead of fight until we won and kick your Uranus where you're from.
It's back to the anus.
It's
always back to the anus.
It's like 17.
Which is Jack's Back to the Future parody.
It's like
Back to the anus.
Like the whole steady have
picked up by Pornhub.
The old steady have Ybor City. I have anus. I have anal probes. Undress like in Species if you conquer mankind. Giving shampoo too chewy. That's a stretch. That's the last line. I guess I ran out of.
That's where you had your zenith.
Yes. At that moment.
Well, I might as well read the last one now, which is ironic first because I started from the middle of the song. I saw your ship blow up the White House while over DC. Your flames consuming all the streets. When I realized with both my eyes your goal is to defeat. Our planet Earth is what you seek. From another world we will be told that you don't come in peace. And then you'll shoot the MIB. Any battle fought you won from here and there into the sun. Damn, being an alien slave just can't be fun.
That was totally worth it. And in comparison to listening to that or having sex with my parents, I'm fucking my parents. So,
oh,
yeah, I never had that career take
Twice
off
on Sundays.
Oh, that took a dark turn.
Or a fun one.
On your dad.
Oh, leave Leon out of this.
I'm not leaving this out of Leon.
Oh, yeah. Tremors.
And eventually we can talk about Tremors. We can do whatever.
You want me to sing the other 7 songs from the album? Okay.
Yes.
He's got them.
Yeah, don't stop. Yeah, make sure you wet that whistle.
Let's move on, boys.
Oh, I want to hear these other songs. Can you at least I'd like the titles and what song it parodies, maybe a brief synopsis of the content.
All right. The first track is American Lobster. which is instead of American Woman. Now, this is because I wrote these when me and Dan had a sketch group, and one of the characters was my giant stuffed lobster that I owned. I won it like on the boardwalk, and he was a character in our sketch show. So I wrote him a theme song, and that was American Lobster. You're no good for me. Cholesterol 343. Stuff like that. Stuff like that. Track 2 is called One Shoe Missing, Closer by Linkin Park, and it was about how I was really clumsy, which I still am, obviously.
No.
Again. Can't open a bag of chips. I'm a spice with one shoe missing, and I'm about to trip.
Did you ever try selling these to Weird Al?
I should, right? My ex-girlfriend's very good friends with him now.
Really?
Yeah, it's a long story. She goes out like to dinner with him every night, and she says everybody just pays for everything because it's like, Weird Al comes into your bar, you're not going to let him pay.
Yeah, right. Oh,
yeah, but you're going to give him O'Doul's instead of real beer.
I feel like he's a wine spritzer kind of guy.
Oh, she told me it's just straight up meth and crack.
Meth and crack, just it doesn't surprise me. He was. I saw him in Milwaukee.
I wasn't born weird.
Did you just say it was a boner?
Wait, when you saw him in Milwaukee?
Yeah, I saw him in Milwaukee.
Wait, did you see him recently?
No. This was the day after his parent died, or the day before.
Oh,
it was like right when.
That must have been a good show.
No, I mean he was fine. Like it was, whatever. I read interviews and stuff where he said like his,
you guys have to watch him have sex. Let's just say that.
I'd watch him have sex. My first concert ever was Weird Al at a state fair, county fair, a fair.
Yeah. Which one was it?
I think it was the Racine County.
Can't
fair.
be both.
I don't remember. I was 12, 13.
Do you remember when you were 12 or 13? That was a lot of undeveloped brain do you have?
You were like a baby. Oh, I don't remember.
It was a lot of
2 years ago. I don't know.
Like I can picture the show in my brain, but I can't really recall where it was. And then the man came out of the trees and touched my bung bung.
You remember that?
Yeah, that's the part you were supposed to forget.
Yeah.
Your parents have to die.
I got it backwards.
You pressed the wrong part. Now one day, like you're just gonna snap in traffic and be like, "It was the county fair."
Get Jack on the phone. It was the county fair.
Why is it all coming up now? He opened with fat.
Oh man,
He never opens with fat.
I used to exclusively listen to Weird Al. Like that's all I listened to.
I didn't know that, but I kind of always knew.
Yeah, it's not like a big surprise. I was supposed to go see Weird Al in he literally came to Appleton, the town that I lived in. And like an asshole, I decided to go to Minneapolis to see Metallica instead.
And the worst part is Metallica just did Creed covers the entire time.
Oh god, that would have been fucking amazing. No, they played at the Vikings' new stadium. That was like the big opening show. So I had to. Plus I got to eat donuts.
A bunch of my friends went and saw Weird Al this week. He's doing a tour where I guess he's doing all original songs, none of the covers, which is great because all of his original stuff is actually really fun. But yeah, I've never gotten to see Al.
No, I'd like to see him one day. I don't really like concerts. Like I used to go all the time.
Oh, I love concerts.
But I'm bored the whole time. I don't know. I can't get into it.
Maybe you got to do more crack cocaine.
Yeah, maybe that's it. And I used to usually go by myself, and I probably wasn't drinking or anything. Yeah, I guess I should give it another shot. I remember. Did you come to Godsmack with me and Dan? Mike. I think it might have been Mike or John. It was probably JP.
Do you think someone's going to admit to you or on the air that they went to the Godsmack concert?
Deftones was the good band. So it was Deftones opening for Godsmack. It was at the PNC big theater in Jersey.
That's another shit thing to say. Is like in comparison, Deftones was a good band.
But Puddle of Mud opened. Puddle of Mud was the opener.
God damn it, this is getting better.
But they went on
if I went to this show.
Well, they went up. We didn't go to see them, and nobody did. So we get there. The show is at like 8. We're there at like 5:30. There's like 24 people getting good spots sitting on the lawn. It's like an outdoor amphitheater. And everybody's getting drinks. People are filing in. It's like when you go to a baseball game like an hour early. It's pretty much empty. And Puddle of Mud is playing their set, and like nobody is paying attention. There's no smartphones or anything back then. Everybody's talking to each other. Nobody's paying attention except this one guy who's just like standing, nodding his head the whole time. I don't know if he's being polite or if he's there. And he's like, yeah, Puddle of Mud. And then they played the one song that everybody knows. Like they didn't even have any hits. They just had I like the way you smack my ass. They had that song. Like they had a bigger hit later on, but this was before that. So that was their only like radio hit. And it wasn't even that big. And he goes, all right, now we know what you're here for, the ass song. And he plays the ass song. And it's like, I like the way you smack my ass. And the guy who was just nodding his head went nuts. He's just nobody's. And he's just like, yeah, the ass song. Yeah, I like the way you smack my ass. Yeah.
Thank you for recognizing my achievement and smacking your ass and doing it so well. I put a lot of heart into it.
I know, like, yeah, and I always just remember that guy and like make fun of them and make fun of the band. But now that I think about it, like we're the Puddle of Mud of podcasts. We love that one guy. We've got a few dozen of them on Patreon. We love that guy.
Fuck.
Here's our ass podcast.
Jack.
Jack, were you saying that we're the Puddle of Mud podcast, or that you? I think you are at least the incubus of podcasts. I don't know that you're down.
Once relevant, now no one gives a shit.
Right.
That's why we have that one guy who does record scratching over the whole podcast for no reason. But yeah, so I guess we are.
Oh God! So we played this show once. This is back in 2010. We played. So Summerfest is this big like outdoor music festival, 12 days. Like this is like the fucking music fest. We were opening for Miss May I, The Devil Wears Prada, and August Burns Red. And we knew that we had a hard time filling an hour and 15 minutes. So we asked a friend of ours who does like turntable DJ. That's super fucking long. So we asked a buddy who does like turntable stuff to like make noise. Like, cause we were playing old songs and new songs. The new songs were tuned differently on guitars. So like, Tim and JR had to switch guitars.
So were you doing like 3-minute, 25-second metal songs with like 6-minute DJ solos?
No. We did. We played like 14 songs. So it ended up being, I mean, it was like an hour and 10 minutes.
That's like a jam session. That's like a Fish concert. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it was so, but the whole point was like when Tim and
like
JR
a Fish concert with deodorant.
So when Tim and JR would switch guitars, this dude would be making sound so that it's not just silent on stage. And when we did our monitors, I'm like, I want none of that. I don't want to hear them. Like, I just want guitars. And then they gave us a live recording, and they were like playing a song, and all of a sudden I hear this. And I'm like, oh no! Just the whole fucking set, he's like scratching and making sounds, and I'm like, you just ruined it. He ruined it for me.
Your song's like, the devil is here.
Hey kids, go buy our album. It'll be like an hour and a half migraine. If this is the example.
You're responsible for dubstep.
Yeah. Not J.J. Abrams in the Transformers movies.
Bruno Mars and Justin Bieber already just incorporated that into their next album. It's going to be the biggest. It's going to be the next big thing. And then everybody's going to give Taylor Swift like shit because she's going to, appropriate it into her song, and she's just going to be like, "Here's my next song. I love you, my boyfriend."
I would sell my mouth sounds to Post Malone in a heartbeat.
Black Panther 2, the soundtrack is just going to be that.
I'm already under contract. I can't talk about it.
Oh.
Just in the last 2 minutes since making those sounds.
You liked Kendrick Lamar. You love Matt Stein of Drown the Lifeguard.
Making mouth sounds with a microphone deep inside of his throat.
Give him all of the Tonys, all of the Grammys, whatever they are.
Oh, well, now I can hear the Taylor Swift influence.
No. You could do background for Paul Simon.
Oh man,
God damn it.
So
that is so fucking accurate, Jack. That is the most beautiful thing that I've ever heard.
I lay down the cool references. That's why all our listeners are in that 18 to 24 demo.
Do you pay for the recording to figure out what your age demographic actually is?
Oh, I have no idea. Maybe we have we have some like pro
Tracking
account with Libsyn. Dan does all that. I don't look.
But they have. You guys have the Reddit. You have people who actually know what Reddit is who listen to your show. We have people on the Live Journal. So.
Do you get fan mail like snail mail? Actually, we do. We never check it though. Dan has the keys to the PO box. I don't think he ever checks it.
No, you check it when Matt's sending you beer, and then
I send it to his house, and he just drinks it all.
Right.
You guys really don't let up on that, huh?
No, never.
What was I supposed to do? Hang it up?
No, I'm glad you drank it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. You just put me on the hook to send Dan some too. What is your Reddit?
We don't have it.
We podcast.
It's called r/worst episode ever. I think.
Worst episode ever.
I don't even know if that's right. That's like when you try to show somebody field control and you don't know how to say it. You just have to do it.
So the top thing, something about Yeardley Smith.
Yeah, see, that's the other thing. We don't just talk about our podcast. Our community has like found enough co-interest that they know what other
we get
relevant
topics. We get it. It's better than us. So Yeardley does a true crime podcast now. And it's very weird to listen to Lisa Simpson talking about a baby who has her genitals burnt.
Yeah, I'd much rather it be Bart.
Considering Bart's views outside of the show, it seems authentic.
Ouch, man. I can remember.
I would love to see someone splicing the audio of Yeardley Smith doing the lines from Billie Jean, which is talking about getting her period, into an episode. That's probably more authentic than because it sounds right on par with what they're doing with the show now. But
yeah, it's Geoff. Do you watch The Simpsons?
He watched Tremors.
Well, we'll get to Tremors.
I stopped a long time ago.
Okay, yeah. I'd still watch them, and I generally put them on while I'm at work because I know I'm not going to watch it, and it becomes background audio, and that's the only way I can get through an episode.
Jeff's enough of an expert. He's our most frequent worst episode ever guest. He's been in every drunk.
I was at the drunk.
You've been in every bourbon, please, and you've been in one or two as well.
Oh, it must be nice.
It adds up. Oh, and you've been in the St. Patrick's Day ones too.
Yeah, I know it must be great to be invited back onto worst episode ever.
I guess.
Do you invite Jack to come onto your podcast all of the time and play video games with him, and he never ever reciprocates?
Podcast that I ever
Yeah, no, sorry, those 4 appearances weren't enough for you, Matt.
I was only on one worst episode ever and maybe 2 90s.
All right, well, we'll
get I don't have like a list under here, and it's like times Jack has hurt my feelings.
It's not Saturday Night Live, Matt. You don't have to be Alec Baldwin.
Right.
He's not in the 5 Timers Club getting the robe and everything.
Just being a Bill Murray.
I don't have my robe.
They kind of fuck you when you come back on 90s percentile. It's like, okay, last time you got to choose the category. This time now you don't. And then the third time, I assume it's just insertion.
The third time Jack just comes on your belly.
That's
right.
Wow.
If I actually still recorded podcasts, I'd have you both on in a heartbeat. But it's slim pickings these days.
That's why we got to do Gremlins 3.
Sure.
Yeah, we're creating shows for you.
Just do it.
It's like, yeah, but you guys can't be on my shit. I have an audience.
Fuck it. Yeah. He doesn't want to lose any listeners.
I don't want my millions of followers accidentally discovering this and going, "What have we been doing? We could have been listening to this the whole time."
Do you think I tweeted this out? Fuck that. No.
I know. That's why when I asked about your Reddit, I was like, man, I really should have put this on their Reddit that you were going to be
even thinking about that. Sorry, guys. We were watching the movie right before. I should have tweeted it out. Did you tweet it out?
Nope.
No.
That's why
we got 6 listeners.
I mean, I guess I could do that right now. Hey, we have our faithful here.
And no, that's why those Super Bowl commercials, after the Super Bowl is over, are so expensive, because that's the best time to publicize.
When everybody's gone on from the Super Bowl and being disappointed by the new Netflix original movie, it's just like,
why is Chris Collinsworth just talking about? What were we talking about? I had a good joke and now Tremors. I lost it. No, not Tremors.
Do you need a minute to rethink that one?
No, I had a bit and it was half formed because I'm trying to do this tweet for you guys. I can't multitask.
I'm trying to get
the complication of tweeting. Jack, you know the fucking president can tweet whenever, all the fucking time. If you can't even hit that level of success.
I know Donald Trump. You are no Donald Trump. No, I can't multitask. For Geoff will tell you, because a lot of the things we like, you know, the games and stuff we play and all the coordination, it's one of my I can't multitask for shit.
No, you're really bad at it, and I mean that with
honesty.
Some amount of niceness,
with neutral respect. I mean that with neutral respect. You're a fuck up. No, I can't multitask. I've gotten better at it, but that's not saying much.
It's not all it's cracked up to be. Oh, you just really wish you were. Did Jack just get up and leave? Oh no, there.
I'm right here. You can see
in the lower box corner guy. You were missing. You were leaned over to the side or something. I couldn't. Biceps,
like a portrait view. Do you just see in Geoff's inner shoulders?
I see all of Geoff, and I am loving it.
You haven't seen me this whole time?
No, I can see you now.
All the winking I was doing when I said I was going to kill you?
I couldn't tell if you were winking at me or blinking.
Remember when Jack said he'd kill you last?
Next to.
He lied. Fucking Commando reference. All right, thanks.
Commando?
Yeah.
Talk about Commando while I tweet this thing out, because I can't do both.
I love Commando.
So do I. Don't worry, Jack. I'm going to beat you to it. Geoff, do you have a Twitter?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
There's literally a Facebook group called Geoff Wallneck has little to no online presence. And
are you serious?
It's me, Dan, and like 2 other guys in the group.
Randos.
Yeah, somebody joined like, oh, this seems interesting.
Is it little to no internet or online presence?
Little to no online presence. It's probably a private group.
Well, fuck. Oh.
Geoff's Facebook profile for the last like 20 years.
Join group.
It's just been a C-level character from the first 2 seasons of Prison Break.
So I'm looking at this group. July 7th, 2007, Dan Mulhall posted update. Geoff is in the group.
Is Geoff the one in Prison Break who's got to hold Teabag's pocket? Is that what he was reduced to in that season?
So
as Kellerman.
There's only Dan's the only person in this group now?
Did I leave it? I might have left it last week.
You totally left it. It's just Dan and now me.
I'm not even.
Dan told me he was going to sell all the data of everybody in the group to Cambridge Analytica, so I got out. I don't want to. I'm not a stupid asshole.
August 21st, 2006. Jack Picone. Existence of the vortex. We all know Geoff has something to do with physics or something, and we all know he. Oh God, what? He is the. Oh. I don't know how to use the
Don't hurt yourself, Matt.
We all know is the most frequently lost in the vortex. I propose that maybe he created it.
So the vortex is this thing we've been joking about for God since he started driving. So 15 years now, 16 years, half our lives. Yeah, I'll be 34, 17. I've been driving half my life. Oh my God, kill me now.
You haven't.
No, I haven't. But I've had my license half my life.
Right.
Anyway, Geoff would always be 35 to 2 hours late no matter what. So we just said he disappeared into the vortex, or he wouldn't reply to a text. That's the vortex.
Is that like the modern day Gleaming the Cube? What is? I don't understand.
It's just shorthand for like when somebody's not responding or is just gone.
I think I sent Geoff a Facebook friend request 6 months ago.
Okay.
Still pending.
Yeah, he got it.
It's just sitting there. I just assumed he hated me.
Oh, did you expect and what? Would you just accept?
Now I don't. Now I know I need to work for it.
I'm too nice to decline Facebook requests. I feel so bad. I just ignore them. I have like 400 of them just lined up where I just I don't want to hit deny, even though I don't think you get like a notification like he doesn't want to see you. He's not around right now. But like I just leave them there and they just piled up for years. I don't. Do you guys delete them? Do you say ignore?
Is your stuff public? Is it, or can people at least follow you because you're a personality? Do they see what they're missing?
No, I try to keep my Facebook. I've decided to make my Facebook more for just people who actually know me, and my Twitter for more, and Instagram for more public.
I accidentally created it. I was doing something or another, and I accidentally made my personal profile a page, and then got to backtrack it, but the page still exists. So there is Corey Scott as a person.
What?
That's why he was unfappening.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's how I saw your titties.
Yeah, but it took
No,
over 20 minutes for it to start.
It was a deep fake.
That was a good one. There were no pixels.
It was. It's the top. It's probably the best of the deep fakes. It's definitely better than like a Grand Moff Tarkin, but not quite as good as.
I haven't seen any of them.
As what's his face?
You haven't seen the Grand Moff Tarkin naked in front of a full length mirror?
Wait, do I need to look this up right now?
No.
No,
I'm
it
gonna
doesn't
make
exist.
a note. Hold on.
Just making you know. Jack's got to be over. He's got to be due for another pee-pee break here pretty soon.
You know me so well. It's amazing.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, we've been here
In with all my might since I sat back down.
You just get a fucking colostomy bag.
No, I do. I honestly, there's times now, especially at work, where I will literally like zip up. I'm like, all right, that's it. And I was like, you know what? I'm here.
We might as well get it all out.
So, like I recommit. Like I have some that's like it'll be good an hour from now, but I'm like, I might as well just do it now. Like I'll do the unzip. I'll do like a take 2.
Yeah. How much water do you drink in a day?
I do drink a lot. I mean, I think it's partly got to be like a small bladder or whatever. I definitely pee more than most people, but I do drink.
That's if you have a bladder. I don't even know.
I don't. It's
It might
just,
just come
it's
straight
a
out.
straight tube.
It's
Yeah.
not confirmed that Jack has a bladder.
There's this stretching of pantyhose over the end of it, but otherwise it's just a sieve.
Yeah, it's an HOV line right through the digestive system. Yeah, no, I do drink a lot. I drink a lot of water, especially, but and then I it's an oral fixation would be like drinks. I need to always be sipping on something. But that said, I can go like 10.
That's why Jack's a perfect date.
It's all up in my head too. If I have to, like if I'm not thinking about it, I can go 12, 14 hours.
Well, I kind of just want to talk about peeing a lot to see if you have to get up and go pee.
I do, but like not enough. Like I'd rather wait. I'm trying to condense them, I'm trying to get like maybe 2 or 3 in by the time we're done here. By the way, Tremors was a great movie.
And that I was thinking about it. It's like we've been recording for over an hour now. We haven't even started talking about Tremors. I'm almost out of beer, and
that's
I'm
the podcast era MO. I've noticed with you guys. You get to it later and later. I like it.
Well, it's
their version of 90th percentile.
Or I was gonna say, or worst episode ever, where like our first 20 episodes, we never let ourselves do bits.
Yeah.
Because
I think we're now to a point where like the people who come and listen to us, like we have a set, we have a set number of listeners. Like it doesn't fluctuate a whole lot, even based on our guests. So I think the people who come to listen to us, and unless someone is complaining, and
compliment to you, Geoff. Yeah, thanks for all those Predators fans.
Hey, who knows? They're gonna be like, wow, the kicker of our sacred team is on this random podcast. I'm gonna listen to it.
No, we're the same way. You go with the set number of listeners, and you're happy. I love our group. I love our community. I met you guys through it. It's great. It's literally one of the best things that's ever happened in my life.
I'm definitely one of those people who
get out more.
Like I look forward to listening to you and Dan and your show and all that stuff. Like you make the show as long as fucking possible for me. I just don't know that Matt and I are really at that level ourselves. We just act like we are when we do the show.
Though. It's better. The show should be less is more. You shouldn't go until you're done.
So let's just be silent for like 5 minutes.
I gotta go pee.
Of course, I have to go pee.
Take the mic with you.
So I'm sure he tripped over something. Geoff, can you still hear us? Oh,
Geoff hasn't been
as he has to put his headphones back in. Oh man, did Jack kick your headphones out?
The last time he did, yeah.
Oh Jesus,
got out successfully, but he did not get back in.
Son of a bitch, Jack. So I'm how old are you?
33.
Okay, so you're okay. How old's Jack? 57.
He's almost 34. I think he'll be 34.
Oh, okay. So we're all pretty much the same age. So like, how long can you kick in football? Like until you're 80?
You can kick as long as your leg holds up, which I've had problems with. It's been better lately, but once you tear it, it just keeps giving out. I can still play soccer. I had a soccer game this morning, and I've been gun shy about kicking for a while now. But
what position do you play?
Oh, I play all the positions in soccer.
Missionary.
I played goalie today.
Doggy style.
Right. Everyone.
Reverse cowgirl.
Your mom.
Wheelbarrow. Where? Pile driver. I played goalie for the entirety because I'm kind of a big dude and I hate running.
Mm-hmm.
But now the league that I played soccer in is like a 40-minute drive, and our team won like one game in 3 years. So I'm like, it's not really worth the drive to just get decimated every week.
That's a problem we have. I mean, we're all based in Staten Island, and you could still barely get numbers to show up. You know, life gets in the way. Set it aside for soccer.
I always enjoy having the conversations of it's like relative distance. So it's like how far do you have to go to get to soccer for you?
The Sunday games are 5 minutes away.
Okay. So I was last weekend when I was down in Indiana, I was talking to a buddy of mine who I met playing in bands. He was complaining about how it's difficult for him to get to practice, and his band practice is 5 minutes away. And I'm like, I drive over 2 hours to get to band practice.
Complaining about commutes to work. I mean,
yeah, it's all relative. It's like,
Matt, you were driving to escape mowing your lawn.
That's true. I drive really far to get away from mowing my lawn. It's just the way I roll.
Really far mowing your lawn.
Yeah, I drive one direction longer than it takes to mow my entire lawn.
Man, remember that lawnmower from Tremors?
Which is funny. It's not a lawnmower, but I think it's a lawnmower without like a mowing deck on it.
What?
It's
it's a tractor. Yeah,
yeah,
right.
It's a tractor.
Before we do talk about Tremors, I did want to talk briefly since we're here. Three quarters of us. Is Kevin on the chat? Is Kevin watching?
I don't know if he's still here. I just see 3 viewers. I don't see who it is.
I wanted to rebut your PUBG claims about how me and Geoff are too hard on you guys when we play in the squad. And
that's because Kevin and I are not very good.
And I am.
You're better than we are, and Geoff is
slightly.
Geoff is the LeBron James of our PUBG group.
No, that's all. I don't criticize anything because I know what I'm getting.
I know I'm playing with shit.
I have no illusions about this.
So Beatmaster's yelling at me because Jack pointed out. So Jack, while you were peeing, I asked Geoff how old you were. Geoff said 34. You had said 34, and I missed
2 minutes before
because when you talk, I hear static or the trombone from Peanuts.
Wait, so I'm sorry. What's the question?
There is no question. It's just me pointing out that someone said you just said 34 like some minutes ago.
Yeah, Matt basically said that anytime you're on the screen, he just thinks it's like Samara from The Ring. He just hears static noise and sees you crawl out.
I will be 34 in 2 weeks.
Oh shit! I gotta make a note. Send Jack.
I'm 33 right now. In New York, you don't get a license until you're 17. A year later than I think most of the country.
Yeah, I got mine like a month after my 16th birthday.
June 11th, 2018, I will officially have lived exactly half of my life.
Why do you have to be like all weird and sad about everything?
The driver's license. I don't think that's sad. I think that's just kind of crazy that half my life I've had a driver's license.
Oh no, same here. I got mine in November right after I turned 16, and
I'm surprised I haven't died in a car accident yet. Blah.
Surprised you haven't died in general.
There's that too.
Surprised I haven't taken a gun and blown my own brains out in the rain while listening to Creed.
The over-under for him was 33.
Oh wow! So
I might outlive Jesus if I make it the next 2 weeks. I beat ya. I got ya.
Well, in living ability.
Would you say that Jesus got jacked?
World peace. You just got jacked.
There it is.
No, you
just got Jesus.
Yeah, you don't remember John 47:17. Jesus is Christ's last words on the cross. Eloi, Eloi, sabachthani. It's Aramaic for I just got jacked.
Oh, John 47:17. Is that what you said?
I don't remember which book of the Bible he says Eloi, Eloi, sabachthani. Alexa, what did Jesus say when he died?
Oh boy.
I don't know that one.
What else?
It's Eloi, Eloi, lama, sabachthani.
My Lord, why have you forsaken me?
Yes. So I just remember when I was a kid, I went to Catholic
Very
church.
Religious.
I spent my youth in a Catholic church, and the priest that we had he had this like weird speech impediment where he would go, okay, so if he was talking, he would be like, yeah, Jesus, okay. I was like, holy shit. Then it became a joke where we would count. But on Easter Mass, when he would read that, he always read the Jesus part, and he'd go, Eloi, Eloi, Llama, and my brother and I would just go,
Mr.
Sobakawa pillow.
Our religion teacher was fucking awesome. His name was Brother O'Connell. Brother OC. Is he still alive? He might still be.
I don't think so.
He might be dead. But he was great, and he used to do this thing where
he got cancer.
Dan should be. He talked about how fear could overtake you, and in terms of its relationship to faith and belief. And he goes,
"You ever had a fear boner?"
Well, he didn't talk about that. But
Okay.
Where your cock is scared stiff?
No, he was like, you could get scared at any moment. And as he said that mid-sentence, he just slammed in front of Dan's desk and got in Dan's face and goes, "I'm going to kill you, you motherfucker." And Dan just freaks out and he goes,
Freshman.
and we were 15. Dan's younger than us. He was 14 probably.
We had the same teacher. We were in different classes.
Oh, and he did that to him, and it was so fucking funny. And Dan sat right in front of me. That's how we were friends, alphabetically.
I can't believe he chose Dan, though.
And then Dan got rock hard.
And he got a fear boner, and then he goes, "Class dismissed."
Dan's like, "I can't stand up for another 3 minutes.
I'll take the 0.
I'll take the 0."
Oh man, we've got some great high school stories. We've told most of them on the podcast.
It must be nice. All that ever happened to me was my backpack was confiscated for having a Metallica patch on it.
I guess for having a gun.
Really?
You scared me for a second.
Yeah, and then so my dad is
Oh shit! I never tweeted out the tweet. It's just sitting in drafts.
I did tweet one, but so neither of you own a house, right?
No.
Yeah, rub it in.
New York.
It was then that's
You guys are failed homeowners, right?
Not
even meant it, right?
No, it's so much work owning a home.
I don't fucking care.
So
It's the worst.
It's
the worst.
my dad does like closings and title insurance for houses. So he's a super, super busy guy, and when the housing market booms, he's busier. So when my mom used to work for my dad because my dad owned the business, and when this cocksucker confiscated my backpack, he called my parents' house, and no one answered. So he called my dad at work, and my mom answered the phone, and she asked him what was going on, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, there's a Metallica patch, and you should really listen to what they're saying." And my mom was like, "Well, just be lucky that you talked to me." Because my dad would have fucking ran him up the flagpole for wasting his time. Because who gives a shit about a fucking Metallica patch? All I want to do is run into this guy in public.
That's awesome that your parents are that cool. I could see a lot of people's parents like freaking out.
There was a period in time where I think they may not have been cool. Like I remember my dad at one point was like, "Hey, when are you going to quit playing in bands and go to school?" But like now that I have my shit together, it's a little different. But I was like 22, 23 at that time, 21.
Flipped out of my brother for Beck. I'm a loser, baby.
Oh,
so
wow.
why don't you kill me?
My parents used to get really upset because I would listen to Marilyn Manson.
I mean, I wasn't even allowed to watch South Park. I taped it and he taped over it, or he took and confiscated that and stuff like that. Baseball wasn't allowed in my house. That was kind of the weird.
Baseball?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like it's not really a sport kind of thing.
What?
I don't ask me to explain it because my brother got to watch baseball. I didn't.
But I want you to explain it.
No, I hate baseball. But my father was
saying baseball's great. I'm curious what the logic is here.
Down on it, like fat fucks play it and kind of thing. Like that's what he would say.
CC Sabathia, motherfucker, love cake
at the time, and Cecil Fielder.
Yeah,
Babe Ruth is like the god of baseball, and he's
big fat dude. Yeah.
More like a
I remember when
baseball.
Well done.
I remember when Prince Fielder, big fat dude, and he went vegetarian, and everyone's like, "How are you so big?" And he just goes, "There's no meat in cake." Fuck yeah, man.
That's awesome.
That's great. Fine, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. Like I like going to baseball. So like the Packers do a big charity softball event, and that's actually coming up on Saturday. We go to that every year. But that's a big charity thing. And then like so there's an A.
I love
yeah. So there's an A affiliate team here for the Brewers. So like anytime anyone gets hurt, like Ryan Braun was on a rehab game and played in Appleton. So we went to that. But they do cool shit, like they have a fucking bazooka that shoots brats. All I want to do is catch a brat from the Bratzuka.
Do you catch them with buns?
Yeah, it comes like rolled in foil with a bun and the whole shit. Like,
oh no, like everybody's out in the
everyone
holding their buns open.
I'm gonna clench your meat log between my buns.
If they did that, that would be the most popular team in baseball.
That got way up.
Fuck, that'd be great. Well, they have Poke Night
Make for a
coming
far
up.
more interesting kiss cam.
I met Dennis Haskins there.
President Palmer from 24.
I don't know. He was fucking he was principal Belding.
Haskins. Who is that? Alexa, who played Palmer on 24?
Sorry, I don't know.
Oh
that
God,
one.
she's useless.
Yeah, you're really bad at it. Oh, David Palmer, fictional
Played
character.
by-
Dennis Haysbert.
Ah,
I never knew that name.
I'm
Three-quarter
talking about
point.
Principal Belding.
And I love Major League.
Oh God,
Yeah.
I always
There's
get that mixed up.
What?
Yeah, there's a picture of me and him and my wife and one of her friends, and whoever took the picture was drunk, so it's all fuzzy, so he looks like an alien.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, he looks
There-
like an alien.
there's
Anyway. Now
pictures
he
of-
looks like a fuzzy alien.
It's funny because there's so many pictures of me with people, and in some cases celebrities. Like I waited in line for SNL, so I took pictures with Horatio Sands, Jimmy Fallon, a few other people, but this was before there were camera phones. This was like when you either had a real camera or you went to to the pharmacy and you got like a disposable camera. So, and I took these with like acquaintances who I do not keep in touch with anymore. And it was before Facebook and it was before any of that. So like, you know, once I stopped talking to them, I stopped talking to them. So like, I don't have like, there's pictures of me out there with these people and with celebrities and doing cool shit, and I'll never see them. Whereas like, you know, if it happened now, I'd get tagged, I'd save the photo myself, something like that. So it's kind of funny. Like you're lucky you have that photo.
Yeah, I'd have to find it though.
Oh, never mind then.
I mean, it's on Facebook. I would just have to go through.
I want to point something out, by the way, guys. I tried to send you a screenshot, but I can't.
I love you too, Jack.
Podcast of Terror just tweeted 20 minutes ago. We're live with @Jackie No Breaks and Geoff, and then it's just a screen. It's a thumbnail of Scary Movie PoT 129 with Joe Nassim.
Oh shit! I put the wrong link on there.
Son of a
Wow. This is what happens when I'm drinking.
And I retweeted it, so it's too late. I'm not unretweeting it.
All those Joe Nassim fans to show up.
I'll-
Gonna be mightily disappointed.
Oh man. Yeah, fuck it. It's not like anyone's gonna show up for this shit. Except Pete, Growly, and Kevin. Maybe Kevin may not even be here anymore.
Sorry, I'm not a big draw.
No, he's sitting in the middle of PUBG somewhere and just kind of like.
Jack, it's not like we have you on because you're gonna make more people listen to this. We have you on because we love you.
I know. I appreciate it. I swear it's not you guys. My fan base, they're not really into podcasts.
My demographic they just don't listen to podcasts.
Not their thing. I don't listen to comedy podcasts. I don't listen to any, not comedy podcasts. I don't.
It's
I don't
very
listen
good
to any-
because we're not funny, so that's fine.
I don't listen to podcasts with two guys talking. I don't listen to the type of show you guys and the guys type of show me and Dan do.
Yeah, neither do I.
Like to be honest, I've listened to more episodes of your podcast than probably any other two guys talking podcast. That should be a podcast, two guys talking.
I'm trying to think. I only listen to true crime.
There's one exception. I don't even count it because to me it's like just a golden standard. So it's like I don't consider it one of the shows I listen to. But that's you talking, you two to me. That's two guys talking. That's like that, and that's the only comedy podcast. That's it. That's like the only nonfiction, informative, like newsy, political history kind of podcast I listen to. Non-educational, I guess you could call it. Basically, you guys and them.
Can you be a little clearer?
We definitely qualify as non-educational.
Yeah, no. If there's one thing we've learned, it's that we all want to kill Matt.
So your 24 question has led me to
I was wondering what you were doing.
Alicia Cuthbert.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just want to pee in her butt.
What's she been lately? Not much, huh?
Probably not. I forgot
The divorced mom next door.
how hot she is. I would spit on her if she asked.
Oh,
me
she
to.
could definitely do the Stormy Daniels movie.
Ah, is there gonna be something? What's that?
Oh, she was in Goon 2. Yeah, I figured that. Silence.
Yeah, there's the accomplishment.
Goon is a movie with Sean William Scott about hockey.
That was a great
Jeff loves that movie.
Yeah. So Goon, she was on in Last of the Enforcers. She was also on The Ranch. If you like,
that was big. Yeah, that was
terrible Netflix TV shows. Hey, season 4 of Arrested Development comes out in 2 days.
No, it doesn't.
No,
Season
5.
Oh, I'm sorry, 5. Yeah, you're right. 5.
You fucking moron.
I'm so stupid.
This is the type of shit that gets us killed in PUBG.
That's what you get for drinking pink beer.
I'm on to a yellow one. It looks like a urine sample.
Guys, don't worry. I've got 4 rounds left. Oh wait, no, I don't. I have 3. I don't know numbers. I'm an idiot. I'm dead.
So the number down there next to the gun, is that how many bullets I don't have?
Do I shoot myself in the face? How's this game work?
So true story. Geoff is like shooting someone, and I just come barreling out a door right past him, looking at him as he's shooting, and he almost fucking just shoots me right in the face.
I've done that to him. I've killed him. I killed you.
I'm pretty sure I've killed each of you.
I have killed all of you at least once.
Yeah. See, that whole time I was talking about killing you was PUBG related.
Shot each one of you. I know I killed Kevin. I killed the shit.
Remember that one time we kissed though? That was weird.
Oh man, who sings that song? This kiss, this kiss.
That's the DLC to PUBG, the Brokeback Mountain map.
You can do gestures now.
There are gestures. You want to play third person, first person? You want to play penetration, non-penetration?
Third party penetration.
Do you want to see inside me or just
That's
feed
what
me?
happens when Pornhub buys Microsoft. It is called Blue Hole Productions, right?
Oh jeez.
Big brown hole in there.
I'd like to be the first in line for that.
Yeah, no, I've had things in my Xbox.
Oh Jesus.
That's why they call it the Nintendo Switch.
Fluid.
What the fuck?
I'm trying to think of other consoles that work for this. I got open.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done. Atari, I hardly know her.
Oh, the old class.
What about a Commodore 64?
What about a Commodore 69?
Toss that right.
Would have been better if I would have brought up the Nintendo 16. You'd be like, Nintendo 69.
I would have never thought of that. I don't think. I would have blanked. What about Nintendo 64? I don't know. I gotta go pee. I don't know how to do jokes.
Oh my god, I gotta pee so bad.
Just blow in the cartridge.
You got it.
Okay. It's my turn for a pee break because I said so.
Okay, why don't we use this time well, and why don't Corey and we'll start summarizing the movie. So when by the time
or you could just plot my death.
Or we could plot the movie Tremors. We could talk about that plot.
It's not going to take a lot of work to kill you, Matt. You've been doing the fucking hard work for us all along.
You'll ruin the podcast we do immediately after this podcast.
I hate you guys.
Go take your time. Oh, he turns the whole thing off and everything, huh?
Yeah, he hides.
You're gonna pee in the pot.
Yeah.
Not much of a live stream. Oh boy, I'm on a roll. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Corey. You asked me to say that I'm just a crazy person. I'm just.
This is why we have you here, man. This is the best.
How are you otherwise? How you doing?
I'm good. It was a high stress week at work, but everything's kind of evened out, and I get the extra day off for the weekend to lie around and hopefully do nothing.
Awesome. Are you gonna watch season 5, Arrested Development?
We haven't watched season 4 yet, so Matt wasn't really far off.
No, I wouldn't watch the remix. I don't know. I like the original version better.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to give the wife the choice, but we're probably gonna go through. We watched the series when it was on Fox.
Yeah,
like we were legitimately watching it from the time that it premiered on. And
the OG fans that really
the 5 of us.
No, I was one of them.
Yeah, I was one.
I got Geoff into it quick. So basically, my sophomore dorm roommate had a TiVo, and this is 2003. So like this thing was like fucking VR. It was like I felt like I was a Minority Report with the oh my god, you can record something. And our screenwriting teacher directed an indie film that he made us watch, and it was terrible. But it starred a pre-famous Will Arnett. And he was like, after he showed us the movie, he's like, oh, in 2 weeks, this guy's got a TV show if you want to check it out. So like, yeah, all right. And we check it out. We watched it the day it aired. We watched it probably 15 minutes. We waited 15 minutes for the commercials so we could fast forward. And we watched it at like 9:15 the night it premiered, and we were just hooked. We must have watched the first episode 6 or 7 times before the second episode aired.
Yeah, we watched it. We were living with my not at the time, but she became my mother-in-law later on. So we had to watch it, and I think we actually watched it live. It was on Sunday nights, and that was just a normal time for us to all be sitting in the room watching TV together, right? But we didn't watch The Simpsons, and so yeah, we watched it the entire time the series was out, and then it just fucking went away, and we were all pissed off. But for some reason, even though we were Netflix subscribers, we never got back to it when they did the new season. And maybe part of it was because I heard so many people say that it was disappointing. But I think realistically, yeah. But I think also it's just that we didn't want to fucking go in without rewatching the original first 3 seasons again. It just seemed like a commitment.
You should, because there are some callbacks, but honestly, most of the callbacks, and I mean, maybe it's just because I've memorized every single episode, but I think most of the callbacks are like the big jokes. Like they don't do callbacks to obscure references from the show. They do like Anhog and like, you know, the really big recurring ones that you would already remember no matter what.
Right.
The problem is with the season is there's like the episodes are 35, 40 minutes each. So it's like watching an hour long drama. If you ask the wife and she wants to decide, I think the remix is less good and less funny, but more accessible. You'll be able to chew through it quicker.
Right.
That's what you got to weigh. It's still good. I think it's got a lot of really good stuff in it.
I only had the one watch through.
We didn't watch it right either. We watched like 1 or 2 episodes a week for over an 8-week period. That's not the way to do it. You got to.
It was so confusing. It was also very depressing. All the characters really.
It's much like especially Jason Bateman's character. It's much more like, aren't these characters assholes?
Right.
It's the Frank Grimes season.
Right.
God damn.
Yeah. Good way.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is I think some of these shows, TV in general, like the comedies, have leaned more dark, which I only seem to like on Always Sunny. Yeah. But I don't like a lot of other things where it's just everybody's dicks. I don't like well, it's not anymore, but Louis, I didn't watch. I tried watching the show with his wife from the old Louis show on HBO that I think she was on a show a little bit too. What's that?
Oh no. Being there, not being there, being better, something like that.
Right. The girl who played Dolores in Grease 2 is what I know her from. But and that was okay. But a lot of the things where it's like, I'm not into, oh God, you're gonna hate me for this. I'm not into Seinfeld. My wife just we got
Hulu. Was over.
You're gonna
No, we got Hulu because my wife came home not feeling well one weekend and she said, I want to watch Seinfeld. And she's like, is that do you have Seinfeld on your computer? I'm like, no, I don't have fucking Seinfeld on my computer. But I signed us up for Hulu and she just sat there and watched a bunch of episodes for a few weeks.
I'm shocked, Corey. I'm shocked.
Yeah, I don't like Larry David's show either. What's that?
What show?
Larry David's HBO show.
But
it's
the same show. Yeah.
But you know, I mean, like Seinfeld, that was not to date you, but that was like when that was big. You were the prime demo. You were your early 20s. That was like my Arrested Development.
Yeah, and I just don't know why I don't dig on it. You know, everybody from there is really funny. I get all the references and stuff, but maybe it's because I didn't watch it at the time. Like I got into watching Friends because I worked at a comic store, and the owner of the comic store, she watched Friends. And so I started watching it probably 6 or 7 episodes in. Yeah, but I've watched Friends consistently ever since. I'm trying to make a new rule for myself where I won't watch shows that have been off the air for the last 10 years or longer. And it's hard.
It's comfort food.
Unless they get a new season. Like I can watch Twin Peaks again because Twin Peaks just got
something new.
Yeah, I mean, I rewatch old Simpsons. I rewatch old Seinfeld. I'd rewatch Friends if that was my show. It's not.
I love the early stuff in Friends. And
I watched it. I watched
the love triangles and stuff.
But I'm watching right now. I'm watching Archer, which is my first time through really watching that. I hadn't gotten into it.
I'm a couple seasons behind.
Yeah, I just got to the Archer Vice season.
Oh, nice.
And I put on Community the other day.
Oh,
and my wife did not like Community when it was on, but I had it on.
Try, yeah.
I had it on the other day, and she was laughing and stuff through it. And I think she's kind of grown a little bit more into it because she wanted to watch Atlanta. She heard something about one of the new episodes, and I said, well, if we're going to watch it, we're going to watch it from the beginning. And I've been wanting to, I had it on the DVR for a long time. And I think she's got an interest now because of who Donald Glover is, but she doesn't really understand the correlation. But now I kind of feel like I can get her to watch Community with me. And it's just a matter of who has that.
It took me like 6-7 episodes. It took me like a half a season before. I liked it, but it took me a half a season to realize how brilliant it was, how one of a kind it was.
Fair enough. I was like,
oh, this is funny, and then eventually became, oh, this is genius.
Because it was a buildup. It took some time for them to establish what they needed to do.
Yeah,
and that's what I was going to mention about to your point. And I do know a lot of people don't watch Seinfeld. It does surprise me because I might even put it above The Simpsons in terms of my number one.
No, you guys love it.
But when I write as a comedy writer, or when I used to write, I do try to make all of my characters likable. I don't like writing or if they're going to be kind of an asshole, they have like they all have good hearts. I like my characters to be decent people. I'm a decent person. I should be able to write a non-decent person, and I suppose I have. But to me, it's much more interesting when a bunch of decent people interact. That's why Next Generation to me is one of the greatest TV shows of all time, Star Trek.
Yeah,
because every single character is doing the right thing, and they're never doing anything for plot's sake. They're always doing something in character, and they're always doing it because it's the right thing. And the conflict comes out from, well, what happens when two right things bump up? I just hate people being dicks. So like, when comedy, when every character has a heart and you're rooting for every single character, it just makes everything funnier.
Yeah,
it'll be annoying, like Homer, Bart, but
it makes it easier to watch.
That's why it's better than Family Guy. Like Family Guy, they're all, there's no soul there.
Oh, they've just gotten worse and worse as it's gone along. To
me,
it's a show there. It's all flesh.
It's hit and miss for me. Seth MacFarlane in general is hit and miss. I think hit and miss. I think he can be very.
I still haven't
funny.
seen Ted.
Even Orville.
I love Ted. Ted was great.
He can be very, very funny, but I don't think his heart's in the right place. I don't
know. Tori, who does a lot of the horror stuff and has introduced this to some people, and she's great. She posted some poll a couple weeks ago about, do you prefer Family Guy or American Dad? And for me, it's 1,000% American Dad. But that's because what Family Guy does is they'll go for that joke that is like 5 minutes too long. Like they actively troll their audience sometimes.
It's very
like some assholes who do a podcast and take an hour and a half to get the fucking movie review. I promise. But it is.
Do as we say, not as we do.
Yeah, we just watched the last episode and it was all jokes that just take way too fucking long. Of like, here's this thing that should be funny if it was a snap thing, and it was like everything just went as slow as possible. They're also trying to do stuff where it feels like you're watching a play, and none of those episodes are funny. So they just it's a complete letdown. But American Dad, I think, has been consistently funny, except for the episode that they did where they were doing a play. That was the one miss that I've ever seen on that show.
A lot of people tell me American Dad is a pretty solid show. I've watched it in passing. I had an ex who was very into it, and I always liked it, but I never got into it. But I think the reason it already was better was the character work was stronger.
And they don't do the non sequitur thing.
Fish.
That goes, but they're there. They're developed. They're fully fleshed out characters.
Yeah, they don't do the breakaway jokes all the time too. That gag of like, here's random comedic side gag that you go to and then come back and it has no impact on the rest of the story. It's like,
I like Runaway. I like those kinds of jokes, but they have to be. It's got to be. You can be a non sequitur, but still fit in the puzzle at the same time.
Exactly. But I was gonna say, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. For some reason, those guys are terrible. All the people in that are terrible, but I like it from those actors and those characters. And even in the shows that they're in outside of that, like you can put Charlie Day in anything and I'm going to fucking laugh my ass off because it's Charlie Day.
I think heart is a lot. I don't know what heart is. I don't know how to describe heart, but I think it's just like in Fight Night, the boxing games for Xbox. Heart was a thing you could put in. You could do stamina, strength, height, weight, or heart, and there's something to heart. Like it gives you something.
Yeah, and I watched the Mick that D went on into, and I really like that. And AP Bio that Glenn Howerton did was fantastic. I loved that season of that series. I'm glad that's coming back. For some reason, that show works for me, but some of these other ones just don't.
That's interesting. Well, so all right,
the Mick didn't really work.
Look, I could talk to you guys for 6 hours about this shit. We got to talk about Tremors, and I think this is a perfect segue because the reason I love Tremors so much is it is a comedy with heart disguised as a horror movie.
Yeah.
Right? Have you guys seen Tremors before? I suggested it for this week's episode.
Yeah,
a lot. Familiar with it?
Oh yeah.
Corey?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, tons of times. But I haven't seen. I don't know if I've seen any of the sequels. I know they exist. I've just never made it to Tremors 2 or anything past that. And I don't know why, because I like Michael Gross. I would have enjoyed, even if it got handed off to a tertiary character that way. But I don't have a problem with that.
They're not good.
I was looking forward to the series, but it's too bad that's not happening.
No, the sequels are not good. They're fun. Like
the second one was fun.
There's something there, but they're genuinely bad movies. You're only there because you love the characters already.
Right.
You wouldn't watch it otherwise. If Tremors 2 Aftershocks was just called Aftershocks, and instead of about underground slugs, it was about little chicken walkers that have infrared vision, you wouldn't watch the movie. By the way, that's the plot of Tremors 2. I haven't seen Tremors 4, 5, or 6, but the first 3 are about the life cycle of the graboid, and basically it evolves into a completely different type of monster. So each sequel is a different monster movie, which is a cool idea. But they're not good movies.
We watched 5 a couple weeks ago.
I've been wanting to watch it. I promised fellow podcaster Harry Nelson I'd watch it with him, and it's been like 3 years. We haven't gotten around to it.
It's very weird, and yeah, I don't think I've seen
4 is the prequel, the Wild West one.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen 3 or 4. I've seen 1 and 2, and then seeing 5, it was very out of place. And
3 is terrible.
Shocker. And then they just came out with a new one too.
Yeah, Tremors 6 in the Arctic.
Yep.
They're like, oh man, we gotta jump on this terror. Everybody keeps talking about the Terror, the AMC show. It's the next Star Wars. We gotta rip them off. That's the sarcasm, guys. Come on.
No, I feel like Tremors betrayed us by involving Jamie Kennedy. So.
Yeah, no, that's true. No, I honestly, and me and Geoff watched this movie right before we recorded, and it's the first time I've seen it in maybe 20. No, I saw it once theatrically about 10 years ago, at like a midnight screening, but I haven't really seen it in a while. But I saw it so much growing up. Movie memorized, like it's just there. It's burnt in like Ghostbusters.
See, I got sick of watching it. I had it on VHS.
Oh, I could watch it over and over. And anyway, watching it now as first time as like an adult, two things. One, I was like, you know what? It holds up. It's not a nostalgia thing. This is one of my favorite movies ever.
Hold up.
That's a really good movie.
2, the main characters I always just loved as a kid growing up. I loved Val and Earl. But this was the first time I related to them where they're like, man, we got to get out of this podunk town. We got to do more with our lives. And like, they're having midlife crises, in the middle of the desert as handyman. And like, I'd never had a midlife crisis when I was watching the movie as a kid. He was like, I'll be famous and have all the Oscars, and like, this is the first time I was like, oh shit. Like, I got poop on me too at work,
What the fuck?
I was surprised because watching this, one thing that this always reminds me of is Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah.
And I was surprised that you went with this instead of Maximum Overdrive, other than the fact that it's a 90s movie. But Maximum Overdrive has Yeardley Smith in it.
To me, Tremors is just like is a part of my DNA. Maximum Overdrive is not. I love Maximum Overdrive, but I've seen it 2-3 times. Tremors I've seen 30, 40, 50, 60 times.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Maximum Overdrive is where the trucks come alive. It's Stephen King. It's the only movie. And I showed you the opening to it where the vending machine kills a guy by shooting cans at his head. Okay. And then the little digital screen just says, fuck you, asshole. It's great.
I do remember.
Yeah, that is a great movie that holds up too, but it is a lot of the same things. And we did a movie very early on in this show's incarnation called Feast, which is a movie that I loved and I brought in. I was like, hey, we need to do this movie. And that was from the Project Greenlight team. And was a bunch of people caught in a bar and creatures outside that were trying to kill them and stuff. So it's that trapped out in the middle of nowhere scenario and all the weird characters and how they mix it up and stuff. And some people make the right decisions, some people make the wrong decisions, but it doesn't have the heart that the characters do in this one. Like, other than the kid that you're waiting to see fucking die, most of the characters are good people. You felt bad for the Doc and his wife, because they were like legitimately just no bad things about them, and to see them eat it was really sort of like, oh fuck, you know, that's kind of upsetting. You got to make them assholes to kill them like that. But
yeah,
that's not what this movie does.
When we were watching that movie, I called that the doctor character. I called him Shitty Frank Sinatra. he just looked like a shitty Frank Sinatra. Yeah, no, I think that, like, to me, the horror aspect, the being trapped, the narrative of being trapped on the roofs, all of that comes like that I could lose that. That's second to me. Like, it's just so much fun watching. The dialogue is so funny and the characters interacting. Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward are just like, they have this perfect chemistry. Should we talk about do a quick recap of the movie here for anybody who hasn't watched?
That's exactly what we would like you to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think Matt should do it because he's always the most invested in these things.
No, you're the guest. You have to.
Is that the rule? I don't think that's.
I call it deflecting.
Tremors is a 1990 horror comedy brought to you by it's one of my favorite movies ever. I don't know who wrote it. I don't know who directed it. It just, whoever did it did a good job, and they should have had a better career. But it takes place in the Southwest, in like New Mexico, this tiny town with 15 people. And one by one, they're killed off by these 4 underground giant slugs that can only hear, they hear vibrations, they don't see. So everybody has to stay on high ground or get eaten, and they basically make their way out of the desert. It really, when I explain it like that, it couldn't be more of a simpler horror movie. But each character, there's a lot of two-dimensional characters that are just really well done, and then the main characters, you don't even see a monster attack until like 20 minutes into the movie. There's not even like an opening pre-credits, like, oh my god, somebody died and we don't know how. It's straight up just like a weird offbeat comedy.
No,
for
they
15,
cover that in
20
one
minutes.
quick scene.
And then one quick scene, you just see the rock shake, and they find a
The
body.
guy's stuck up on
The body they find. So
electric wire.
that guy died before the movie even started.
Right.
So the horror stuff, it's really second fiddle to the rest of the movie. Is that enough?
Yeah,
Is that good?
No, that's reasonable. The director of this in films directed City Slickers the next year.
He likes his cowboys.
But then he went on to do things like Mighty Joe Young and The Adventures of Pluto Nash. So all that goodwill went away.
Oh boy. I always thought The Adventures of Pluto Nash was kind of like the Tremors of the 21st century. Is it 21st century? It might be late 90s, right? What is it, 2001, 2000?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know now. I think it's...
When did Adventures of Pluto Nash come out?
And this is when Alexa just slaps you.
Pluto Nash was released about 16 years ago on August
16th, just 16 years ago, 2002.
2002.
Really?
He's also directed episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Monk, which makes me happy. Hawaii Five-0. So he's doing a lot of TV stuff now. He got directing an episode of MacGyver.
I guess Tremors is just
Is that the new MacGyver?
The new MacGyver.
Yeah. I guess it's just lightning in a bottle. I guess they just had the right people at the right time.
Yeah, you get Rima Williams and Kevin Bacon in a movie together. You're going to do pretty well, in my opinion.
Yeah, so you guys both, we're all on the same page. We like this movie, right?
Yeah. And maybe
if somebody doesn't like this movie, I'm going to have a problem. I love this fucking movie. Every goddamn line of dialogue is gold.
It's not overacted at all. Like, you've got people who can definitely overact. You get Egg Chen in there from, Big Trouble in Little China. You got Reba McEntire before she was doing acting. I think it was the first person I ever saw her on screen. You've got the girl who knows Unix.
I can unlock anything.
Yeah.
Name it. I know this system.
I think that you're saying that it has heart is so perfectly spot on, because that's what I felt like watching it, is that these are two guys who every time that there's danger, they run towards the danger. They run to save whoever it is. And it's not a matter of fuck that person, he's an asshole. Like, they see the guy up in the tower and it's like, okay, one of us is gonna have to go up there and try to get him down because he's probably up there drunk. And then it turns out that he's dead. And they are planning on leaving town, and they find someone else is dead, and they go back into town. They're like, hey, we got to let you guys know that something's up. And every time that they have the chance to not involve themselves, they still involve themselves. They still are looking out for the best interests of everybody,
And it's great character work because the first 20 minutes of the movie, the first act of the movie, before they set up the horror, and I love movies that do this. I love action. I love horror. I love movies that set up an other movie before it gets to the genre shit. Like this is like you're interrupting this day in their normal lives. This is these are characters from another movie that happen to find themselves in this genre. That's why I love the first act of Cloverfield so much. Where like if you go in that movie cold, you have no idea you're walking into a monster movie.
Yeah.
And they set up the character so well, and they decide our lives suck. We're handymen. We clean up people's garbage. We need more. Let's move to the big city. In this case, the big city is Bixby, which probably has like 5,000 people in it. It's probably like Strangler-Lotta, Matt. But all right. Well, how many people are in Madison? 200, 300,000?
Madison?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Or is Milwaukee closer?
Green Bay is closer.
How many people in Green Bay?
Anyway,
I think Bixby is even small. I think like Bixby is like nothing.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Madison is 233,000. Green Bay.
That's a city.
Yeah, Green Bay has less.
I would bet you Bixby has, and I don't even know if it's a real city, but the way they treat it, I would bet you it has either a 4 to 5 digit population. But anyway, they want to get out of town and they just want to leave this town and they can't. They keep getting stuck. And at one point, there's a roadblock. The rocks have caved in.
Green Bay has 100,000 people.
That's it.
Yeah,
good team though.
I don't. Now I got to look at Milwaukee.
That's what they mean by the whole town empties when they go to a football game.
Yeah. But anyway, so like the fact that they set all this up and basically they just want to get out of the town, you kind of forget you're watching a horror movie because you're like, I just want to see these guys get out of town. I'm invested now. I'm invested in these two characters and their journey. And then for it to turn into I love that 1-2 punch. It's why I love From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah. Yeah, because exactly. From Dusk Till Dawn starts out as a straight up like could be any other Quentin Tarantino movie until all of a sudden vampires show up.
And there's no like quick cute scene at the beginning of the movie. That shit, Jurassic Park 2. Like there's no quick monster attack that starts pre-credits. There's no ominous like pan over to the side. Oh, is there a monster in that fog? There's literally nothing in From Dusk Till Dawn until the moment all of the vampires attack and kill everybody at once. It's great. Yep. And Tremors, it does a little bit more foreshadowing, but it really it's patient.
I think we're just not used to that. A lot of old movies. I think I said this while we were watching. A lot of older movies, had that. I mean, like The Thing and stuff like that.
No, it's a good point. I don't think Tremors is breaking the wheel here, but it is nice that they don't do that anymore.
Don't do that
A
anymore.
modern movie I can think that does it, and I loved it, although I don't think it has quite the replay value, is The Descent with the kid.
Oh man,
first 35 minutes to them climbing into caves, and it's just like a generic there's even like some tense thriller scenes in there that are just straight up spelunking. Have nothing to do with monsters.
Stuck in that hole.
Yeah. It helps with claustrophobic.
That I'm extremely claustrophobic, and I have an anxiety attack anytime I walk in. My wife is watching The Descent. I'm just turn right around and walk out of the room. And we've talked about this early on the show before. It's like that's the one movie that I'm going to have a hard time if it becomes a suggestion for us to do.
We're doing it next time.
God damn it.
In VR.
In VR.
Oh, shit.
I'd do it. I'd watch it.
Actually, I would only do that with you guys. Save it. I want us to do one day of remote recording. We're gonna go to like Carlsbad Caverns, and we're gonna go spelunking, and we're gonna podcast about The Descent from there.
Okay.
200 meters under the ground, like some salt mine elevator.
Okay.
Corey, you in?
No.
Me neither. Give me Matt and Geoff.
No, you have to. What you're saying though is you have to trust the audience. You have to trust that you can tell a story with your characters. You have to trust that people are going to be able to watch the movie and enjoy it up until the part where you give them the actual hook. Gremlins is like that. There's definitely things that could be like that. None of the creeps could be that way. They don't have to do that whole scene in the past, but it comes up later on with the cop and why he's so driven to like wanting to kill himself and everything that it makes a certain degree of sense of setup. Critters is kind of like that too. They have the thing with the aliens coming down and stuff, but again, it's setup. But the the story for the people starts out and it's just their lives, and you anticipate that something's going to happen, but you don't really know what. And I'm totally fine with that, because everything that they do, you can't really get much better than Bacon and Ward, though, for those two lead characters. They're just 100% earnest from the point where Val is kicking Earl awake and creep him out with the whole thing of the stampede and stuff,
which is foreshadowing. That's the last scene of the movie. He uses
exactly.
And I'm pretty sure watching it, I think that where they woke up, the very first shot of the movie, him on the cliff where he's peeing off the cliff, I think is the same exact cliff that the monster jumps out of at the end.
Yeah, it does everything it needs to do to set the story and set the tone, and keeps it honest the whole way across.
Yeah, the writing and the acting, and together the characters, is the reason this movie. Because you're right, there's plenty of movies that have the slow setup. I mean, that's the disaster movie genre. That's it. You know, Airport 74. Those movies are it's like your podcast. It's like an hour and 45 minutes of setup and then 15 minutes of payoff. And,
except we never pay off.
But you don't care. But like your podcast, nobody cares about the characters. Nobody cares about the guests. You know, whereas Tremors is great. Like, I would watch, you don't have to put movies in. I would watch 2 hours of just Fred Ward and Kevin Bacon bouncing off each other. The leads in Critters, the opening parts in Critters, are more just genuine stock character like lines. Like, the characters are just, they're tropes. They're there. You know,
I think I would probably give Critters a little bit more, but not a lot more. I think because it's focused on the family.
Placeholder, I shouldn't, but I basically mean more generic horror movies.
Yeah, but Eight-Legged Freaks is probably closer to what you're talking about.
Yes. I love Critters. I don't want to give.
Oh yeah, it doesn't matter. And I love Eight-Legged Freaks. It's just, I know it's an actively bad movie. When he shows up in the cave, he finds his grandmother, and she's the only one alive because he didn't check any other motherfucker in that cave. And it's just like, no, they're all dead. Let's just go, dick. Like anybody. Did you call out at least once to see if anybody answered? Hooty-hoo. No, fuck you. You just said, fuck those people. They're not grandma, and just left.
Have you covered that?
No. But it's in that, it's the same kind of movie like this. Slither by James Gunn is another one, which I fucking adore Slither. And I would love to see some of that stuff come back.
I saw it in the theater once. Yeah. I was like, okay.
I think if you watch it now, having seen Guardians, you kind of probably lean into it a little bit more, because that Americana with the music and stuff. When we're just gonna call him Merle because he's Merle. When he's sitting there and he's turned into the creature and stuff, and he's playing the romantic. It's not REO Speedwagon. No, it's Air Supply. He's playing Air Supply to try to romance her and stuff. But he's all demonized out. It's like, it's just so good.
It was Creed.
Yeah, it was definitely Creed. Creed doing Air Supply.
I'll be right back, guys. Continue the conversation, please.
Jesus, this third piss break?
By the way, if you could do anything, it would be to cut off Creed's Air Supply.
I don't know why you hate Creed so much.
I don't hate Creed. They did this to themselves.
Being awesome?
That's what they did.
Busy writing hits over there.
All those big hits. I've heard more Sum 41 hits than I've heard Creed hits. So,
yeah. Old Sum 41. That Creed's just such a good band.
Not even half of Blink 182.
The sum of 41.
That sounds like a Jeopardy question. Is like some blank and blank equals what blank?
Sounds like a calculus question.
Yeah.
Shut up. You love math too.
I do.
If you're on a train driving away from a Creed concert, how fast can you get home before anybody finds out that you were there?
So I sat in on interviews a couple of weeks ago, and I was looking up interview questions because I don't normally interview people. And one of them was like a train math question. So I asked them, and yeah, it was literally one of those where it was like, if a train leaves San Jose at 7:15 a.m. going this speed, and 8 passengers have 100% of their work to do, and 4 hours later 4 of them have 100% done, and 2 have 80% done, and 1 has 75% done, and 1 has 40% done. How long would it take for the remainder to get their work done?
And then you just say Mr. Glass blew up the train to see who would be invulnerable, and be...
so he could figure out how to get his the equal of his opposite.
Right.
Yeah, it was really funny, especially when you're applying for a help desk position and I'm asking you a math question.
Yeah, aren't you supposed to monitor how they model the question and break it down into what?
Kind of. The whole point was to be like, well, how
something, but that's the question.
It's someone working in IT, so basically their answer should be, "Oh, I'll ask Google how to do that."
Right.
Yeah.
I'll see if there's a video on YouTube about it, and then that's the answer for everybody from IT.
And one of the person's answer was like, "I would Google it." I'm like, "You're hired."
Exactly right, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's how.
Don't get hung up on the dumb shit problems. You find the answer and you move on.
Exactly.
And you lie to the user. You lie to them. You say,
and you come in her butt.
Lying to the user is the euphemism for coming in their butt.
End of line.
This show's probably better when I'm not here.
I don't hear you guys talking about the original soundtrack. Because the music is great too. And again, I can't think of a horror movie soundtrack like this. It's like fun, not podunk, honky tonk.
No, I'll tell you what is. I was just rewatching it. I'll rewatch it anytime it's on TV. Twister.
Oh fuck, man, I love that movie.
Yes.
Twister fucking breaks out the Goo Goo Dolls for no goddamn reason in the middle because we're just driving down the road and fucking storms are coming at us. Got to play the Goo.
Hey, if you like covers of songs, Haste the Day does a cover of that Goo Goo Doll song.
Oh, we don't.
Fuck, Jack.
But good to know.
Yeah, whatever. Maybe one of our 4 listeners are into it.
Twister also had a song by Van Halen with Gary Cherone from Extreme when he was on that one album. I think that's one of the songs on the soundtrack too.
What was that song? More Than Words. Oh God.
Yes.
But no, the original score I liked a lot. In Tremors.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just love this fucking movie.
So the soundtrack didn't have a lot of songs on it, so it was more the score. It was the ambiance music was really
I had forgotten that Reba McEntire was in it.
She sings a song at the end, I think.
Yes. That's what I was going to say. A song called Why Not Tonight.
Let's talk about Michael Gross, because Michael Gross is now the face of the franchise. He's been in all 6 movies and a TV show that was on Sci-Fi. Side note, there was going to be another more gritty TV series that was greenlit, starring Kevin Bacon and produced by Kevin Bacon. And about a week ago, they announced it's not done.
So you know what's super fucked up? So we like
all the immigrant kids.
What?
But,
what?
I thought you were asking a rhetorical. All right, I'm sorry.
And one of my very good friends, his mom would watch all of the Creature movies all the time, and like I remember watching Tremors in her kitchen, like when I was in high school, and she passed away the same day that they announced that the Tremors TV show was not happening.
Oh, you think that's what did it?
Yeah, we were like, probably Pam Balzer died, so can't do the Tremor show. Our demographic is gone.
It was just suicide.
That was either me or her.
Jesus.
Like I say to myself a lot, like I can't die until that 4th Avengers movie comes out, because fuck, man, the last 10 years of build up for this. I need to see this fucking happen. And dear sweet Jesus, don't take me yet. Otherwise, strike me down immediately after as I'm walking out of the theater, have me slip on some of the fake butter and just break my own goddamn neck. But until that moment, I need to live.
I wrote a suicide note once.
Once?
What?
And he's just been revising it for the last 10 years like a film.
It was a fictional suicide note because I was emo and I was making a film, and this was freshman year.
Gotham by Gaslight 21, Jack's suicide note.
Emo fictional suicide note. It's called For the Attention, Jack.
Look at me. Anyway, one of the lines was, I can't kill myself yet. Oh, no. It took place at my funeral. That's right. And I was like, I'm dead. I'll never see Star Wars 3. That was that was the lie, because I had the same thoughts growing. Like I was just like, oh, I hope I don't die before Revenge of the Sith
Usually you
comes
keep
out.
those thoughts to yourself.
Wow.
And then you saw Revenge of the Sith, and you're like, I could have done it.
Yeah. Now
it would have been fine.
I didn't need to wait for this.
Should have made a left turn at Albuquerque.
Jack, did you ever see Fanboys?
Ever see what?
Fanboys?
It's a good movie.
No,
it's about a group of friends. One of the friends is going to die, so the whole group is trying to get him to be able to see the new Star Wars movie before it comes out, the Star Wars Episode 1.
Jay Baruchel, is he in it?
Yeah.
Bella's in there, right?
I think it was one of those movies. There's so many movies, especially disc, where it came in and I was like, oh, I gotta watch it right away so I can return it. And I would watch it like on a Saturday, Sunday afternoon, and I would like be half sleeping on the couch, and I would just watch the whole movie and then mail it back, and then I'd be like, oh, I've never saw that movie, and then I would see it on TV and I watch. I go, oh, I've seen this.
Yes. Seth Rogen actually plays like two sides of I think he plays a Star Trek fan and a Star Wars fan, and they get all of them get an award together to con. But the end of the movie is the big payoff. They do get to let their friend gets to go see the movie. They don't get to see it because they're not the ones dying, but Lucas says, yeah, we'll let him see the movie. And then he passes away, but then the movie actually comes out in the theater, and they're all sitting in the theater watching it together, and it's this big payoff moment, and they look at each other and go, but what if it sucks? And that's what it ends.
That's great. That's great. I love it. And I bet you that is it based on a true story?
I don't think it is.
I bet you it happened, even if it wasn't dramatized. I bet you somebody was like really wanted to see it and then died. They probably died thinking like, oh, at least Attack of the Clones will redeem it.
Right. Yeah.
No one was thinking that. Not even.
I don't even like Star Wars, and I wasn't thinking it.
I love Phantom Menace when it came out. Like
I still can't remember what the fuck that movie's about. I know I've seen it at least 3 times, but I've erased every fucking memory of it as soon as I stopped watching it. I didn't see it in the theater, so I saw it on VHS when I was house sitting for some friends, and as soon as the movie was over, I could not tell you a single thing that happened to it other than some guy had 2 blades on his lightsaber.
Right. It was about how little they can put Darth Maul into a movie.
Right. But wonderfully focused racism.
But anyway, long story short, Michael Gross was face of the franchise. He's a tertiary character in this movie. He's like the 4th or 5th lead character. But anyway, he's the face of the franchise. But people, and like he's so burned into this character, this like doomsday prepper, like what's not survivalist. There's another word for it. But anyway, he's like totally self-reliant. He's got all his
white
guns.
Nationalist.
He's not. He might be.
He moved to Mexico.
That's not Mexico. It's New Mexico. It's a good one.
He's a doomsday prepper.
Yeah, he's a doomsday prepper, and he was famous before. So he's so tied into this role for a lot of people. But before that, people really only knew him from Family Ties, where he played a liberal hippie raising a hippie family, and Michael J. Fox is his Republican, like conservative son.
The really soft-spoken.
Yeah, so this was literally him. He was going against type. This was it's completely out of context 28 years later. But when he was cast, it was like, isn't this funny? We cast Michael Gross as the redneck prepper. Like that was supposed to be a joke. And he's such a good actor that he just becomes the character so like that. And he's so much fun. And speaking characters with heart, you totally relate with these people. And like the most tense the movie gets is probably at the end where he's yelling at Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward, like, you got us killed. We're fucked here. And even that, which is a heated argument, is still like very reasonable. Nobody's shooting each other. Nobody's pointing a gun at one another. You know, if that was made today, he would have pulled out his gun and be like, you motherfucker, I'll kill you. And like, no, put the gun down. The gun down. It's like, no, he would never, ever shoot one of them. He was just like, I'm mad at you and I'm pissed and I'm yelling. But everybody was just good, decent people.
Yeah, because everybody comes in and breaks it apart and is like, "Oh yeah, I know. Let's just calm down."
All of the reaction, it wasn't Hollywood drama. It was dramatic. It was dramatized. It wasn't, it might not have gone that way in real life, but it wasn't like over the top, shitty, plot-driven shit.
Yeah. Ed, when you were saying about Michael Gross, every time I think about Michael Gross going from Family Ties to doing this character in this movie, I think about David Morse. Did you ever watch St. Elsewhere growing up?
No, but I'm a big David Morse fan because of a little movie called The Langoliers.
Yeah, David Morse was the sweetest, most soft-spoken doctor on St. Elsewhere. He was just like this really awesome character that everybody kind of beloved and everything. And then he plays an asshole in pretty much everything since then.
He kills an entire world in 12 Monkeys.
Yeah, it's like, holy shit. You know, this guy, like, I just, it's like going from playing the sweet visitor in V to being Freddy Krueger. And everybody associates you with this sicko motherfucking serial killer and everything after that. And you're like, yeah, but look at V, man. He was just, we all loved him. He was the one green face that we all thought was great.
And it's funny because then if you come in as a different generation and you don't know that previous iteration, it's funny how everybody has preconceived. Like for me, Burt Reynolds was always like evening shade Burt Reynolds, like this, like, you know, guy in his 50s. He was like cool. And like, you know, it took me till my 20s where I realized like, oh, he was like a sex icon. Like he was like the Ryan Reynolds of his day instead of the Burt Reynolds.
The Cosmo magazine spread. Yeah.
A Playgirl.
Yep.
And you know, same with like Clint Eastwood. Like Clint Eastwood, for me, Clint Eastwood was always like my dad's actor. You know, it's just hard for me to imagine at a time he was the box office draw in Hollywood.
Yeah, he did movies with the fucking orangutan. Those were the shit.
And I didn't know Paint Your Wagon was an actual movie.
Oh, it's a real movie, all right.
I had no idea.
Gonna paint your wagon.
Is that
like,
an actual song?
What if your first exposure to Sylvester Stallone was Stop or My Mom Will Shoot and Rhinestone? Like that's your Sly Stallone.
Or that right? Or that porno he made.
My first was Cobra.
That's soft porn. He made a soft porn before he was famous. Before he was in.
Why do you know these things?
Yeah, the Italian Stallion.
Same thing, right? I'm wondering.
Yeah, it comes up a lot.
I got to love VHS
in my Google search. Oh God! Now I lost my thought because now I'm just thinking of Stallone in the porno.
Yep.
He should have played Cable.
He wouldn't have been a bad Cable. I thought Josh. I haven't seen Deadpool 2, but I thought Josh Brolin was a safe choice.
I have seen Deadpool 2.
Good story.
When I said it, I'm like, well, probably no one cares if I saw it.
Know what you thought?
Not as good as the first.
Oh, so really bad.
I forgot you hated the first movie.
I don't hate it. I think it's overrated. I think it's.
Yeah. Fine. I think it's well rated.
I think it's fine.
I think it's good because I think it's an enjoyable film. Like it's worth a watch. But do I think it's like fucking great and I'm gonna lose my shit over it? No.
We did a scary movie last week, and I feel like Deadpool and possibly Deadpool 2. I haven't seen Deadpool 2 yet. I feel like it's going to be the same thing where it's not going to age particularly well because all the references and stuff are going to not be as funny in 10, 15 years down the road because people aren't going to know all the things that it's pulling from. But what I love about the Deadpool movies really is just Ryan Reynolds and the whole marketing scheme of it. And did you guys see I can't remember if it was Walmart or Target where they had all the different DVDs that they were selling that they just inserted Deadpool into them, like Office Space. And in Logan, they had Deadpool's tiny little hand holding Logan's hand.
It's a brilliant hand. I love it.
It's so brilliant. And I just like every part of that. I'm not ashamed to love watching Deadpool and cracking up all through it. But I know that the long term, it's not going to be an excellent film down the road. Whereas I think the Marvel movies are enjoyable the whole way through, and the entire series of them are all great. And I think that they'll have a longer term shelf life than what Deadpool will or can. But I think that as long as they got Ryan Reynolds and that marketing team doing Deadpool stuff, they'll be successful going on. It's just if you go back dry 20 years down the road and you're a kid and you don't have any of this stuff, yeah, you're just gonna be like, I don't understand this.
I equate Deadpool with Family Guy. I honestly don't remember the first movie too much. So I'll give you a quick example from the trailer of the second one, because I haven't seen the second one. But the trailer has two jokes. One I like and one I don't. One is, I think the idea of the joke is very funny. And I think Deadpool, the first one, and from what I understand from the second one, I think it's a very clever film. Like, there's a lot of very clever conceits, especially with the meta stuff. I love what they're doing there. And this is a meta joke. And basically the joke is Josh Brolin is playing Thanos and he's playing Cable. He's in everything. He also played Jonah Hex. Yep. So at some point in the trailer, Cable's like, I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to kill you. And Ryan Reynolds goes, pump the hate brakes, Thanos. Now, the fact that he's calling him Thanos to me is on paper funny. I think that is a funny joke. Ryan Reynolds doing his ain't I a stinker fucking delivery, like pump the hate brakes, Thanos. You know, like I can't. I think Ryan Reynolds doesn't know how. I don't think he's naturally a funny guy. I think, or either that, or it's not the right role for him, or he's overindulging in what he is good at. I don't like. He's doing like Van Wilder redux. He's doing like Van Wilder on steroids. Right. Van Wilder is just tolerable enough. Put him on steroids, like, you know, go fuck yourself.
But that is so inherent to what Deadpool is in the comics.
But
Deadpool is kind of like he's the Bugs Bunny in comics,
or Michael Keaton in Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
and Michael Keaton would be a great Deadpool 20 years ago. I don't think Ryan Reynolds is the right role. I don't know why he became the name, and then he was self-perpetuating. Yeah, it was self. But like at some point, it wasn't out of nowhere. He wasn't like, I want to play Deadpool. There was people in the air like he'd be a great Deadpool, and then he scooped it up because of course, if somebody's like Jack Picone should be the next Deadpool, I would make that my mission too. But
well, I think it's because he managed to be he suffered through being Deadpool in name only in Wolverine Origins, and that's why it's a redemption story.
But Colin Farrell wasn't a very good Bullseye, not have anything to do with him, but because the movie Daredevil sucked. But I don't need to see him do a campaign and become Bullseye. I don't need a Bullseye redemption story. You know, it was a bad movie. Move on.
No, but he was Wade Wilson and it fit. You know,
I don't think it fits. I don't think he's the right. I don't know. I just don't like Ryan Reynolds.
He was funny in Wolverine.
I think that's it. I think it's because I don't like
the first 5 minutes.
But that said, there's a second line in the trailer, and I really like it. And it's the exact same kind of joke, but I think Ryan Reynolds delivers it really well. And it's where he's being choked out to death by Cable, and Cable's like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna shoot you.
You got to work on your Cable impression.
And
sounds a lot like what is it?
That's my
Foghorn Leghorn.
Looks like
you gotta summon your inner Goonie.
I reckon I gotta get me the 6 Infinity Stones.
I say.
So, but anyway, he's choking out Ryan Reynolds, and Ryan Reynolds goes, "Oh, so dark. This isn't the DC universe." Now, that's another meta outside Hollywood joke, but it's funny, and I think it's because he's being choked to death that he's actually giving an understated reading. He's not hamming it up.
But wouldn't it have even been better if they had gone for a joke where they both had failed DC movies? Because that to me is something that's even more ripe to mine, is that we've got Green Lantern and his failed to shit movie, and Jonah Hex with his failed to shit movie. And I think in both those cases, it wasn't the actors that were the problem, but they wound up in really crap films. And they could have had this camaraderie built around that. I don't know. I haven't seen Deadpool 2 either. I'm definitely interested in it. And I like Ryan Reynolds, I think, more than you do, because I've sat through his
places. I like him in that. Like, I don't hate Ryan Reynolds.
I sat through his romantic comedies. You know, I've watched the shit that he's done. Like, but I also watched Two Girls, a Guy, in a Pizza Place back when it was on. So
I still love that.
So did I. No, I think he just needs to be reined in. I think it's like Seth MacFarlane. Sometimes you're just not funny, and somebody's got to tell you. Let's edit it, direct it. I don't know.
Yeah, but most don't agree with you.
They do love him, but they love Dane Cook. So what can I do?
Yeah,
exactly. He was very popular for a long time, and I'll take.
I can see like Dane Cook 10 years ago could have been Deadpool.
Dane Cook is still doing stuff,
right? But he could have been Deadpool 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's not like he's Carlos Mencia.
The superhero genre was 10 years off. Like if the evolution,
but he did Employee of the Month instead. So
right?
What the fuck are you gonna do?
I know, but it would have been good.
Yeah, but also the other part of it is that Ryan Reynolds pushed to make the Deadpool movie happen.
He's the reason.
He was instrumental in that movie. Like, Fox never wanted to invest in it, never believed in it, and he just like did everything he could. And I think honestly, it was such a labor of love for that first movie to happen and to reach the success that it did, and then to have the sequel come out and do really well. I mean, it seems like Solo has underperformed this weekend compared to what Deadpool 2 is doing, and both of those are following up Avengers, which we knew that was going to be a rough spot. But it's kind of like that underdog story, and it's something to root for in that regard. But I don't disagree with you. Ryan's delivery, you either like it or you don't.
Right.
And I've seen him deliver the same kinds of jokes in the third Blade movie, You know, I saw him deliver the same kind of stuff in other things.
He's been Hannibal from Marvel. He's been Deadpool. He's been Green Lantern. He and Josh Brolin both have 3 under their belt, 3 major ones.
Not major, but 3 tries.
They're up there. They're not. Who would be the most minor out of those 6?
Hannibal probably is the most minor.
Hannibal. But in the Blade comics, he's up there. He's not Clockmaster. He's not.
But that's also the Blade comics.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Man. He should play Calendar Man next in the next Batman. In the Batman.
And did you see Hitman's Bodyguard? Because it's the same sort of jokes, but it's him and Samuel L. Jackson. It's not nearly the meta fest that it absolutely could be, because you got those 2 guys together. But it's pretty funny. And as far as getting those 2 guys in a room together, it's as good as, for me, probably better than Kevin Hart and The Rock doing stuff together.
Dude, that sounds like Safe House, but there were no jokes in that. Safe House was Ryan Reynolds and Denzel Washington in the same roles.
Oh yeah.
Also,
Ryan Reynolds was CIA guarding.
But those things
Denzel.
also come down to chemistry. Again, bringing it back to Tremors.
They didn't.
Kevin Bacon's a great actor, and he's great in a lot of things. But being paired up with Fred Ward was just lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, and it's a weird mix, because you wouldn't have ever thought.
Why are they friends? How did they make? I was trying to think of that during the movie. It's like
they lived in that little.
They lived together.
Motorhome together.
It was like, is it his uncle? Is it a friend of his parents? Did he just like?
Because they're not the same age.
Pick him up, but they're they're good 15, 20 years apart.
And it just feels really natural too. Like when he's coming out and they're packing up their stuff, and he's bringing the vacuum cleaner with him, and he's like, "Why are you bringing the vacuum cleaner?" That whole moment of like, you get this dialogue that fills in blanks for you that you wouldn't have even thought to ask, because it just feels so natural with those 2 guys.
You get exactly who each character is, and you get exactly what their relationship is. They have been best friends for a very long time.
Yeah, it all worked really well.
And then the creature effects aren't terrible. The storyline isn't terrible. It's not great, but it's just enough to get these characters through whatever few acts you're going to watch. That's all you need. The actual monsters is just a train to carry the characters through the movie. You're watching,
and the way that they do the kills of the monsters are actually well thought out. You know, it's sometimes they're accidental in how they do it. Sometimes it's purposeful, and sometimes it's blind luck. But each one, it makes a certain. You don't have to suspend disbelief, other than the fact that they're underground giant fucking worm monsters.
When they pull the pogo stick through the asphalt.
Yeah,
there's some geography.
There's some of them, but
plot holes, but whatever.
It's very thin, and it's also light. You know.
Obviously, we're running very long, so we're going to blow through this movie very quickly. There's 4 monsters. Let's talk about the 4 quick death scenes. The first one is great. They accidentally kill it by jumping into an like a sewer, an aqueduct, and the thing is chasing them, and is so hell bent on chasing them, it slams into a cement wall and kills itself.
Yep.
That's great. The second one is like a bona fide action scene. Like, I could imagine people cheering in the theater when this happened, when basically it goes into the underground basement of the Doomsday Prepper and his wife,
the wrong
his
goddamn
loving wife,
room.
the wrong goddamn rec room, didn't you bastards? I have the whole movie memorized. I was knowing Geoff. I was doing every single line ahead of time. Just like, I found the ass end. Bologna and beans.
Eggs.
It was bologna and exactly. So anyway, yeah, they basically bust in, and and you think they're dead. He screams on the walkie-talkie, "Oh my God, they're here!" And then suddenly, from a mile away, you just hear gunshots, and then it cuts to them, and they have all these guns on the wall, and they are just firing everything they got, and they kill it with bullets.
But they had the slow pan. They're backing up. They're firing their sniper rifles.
You think they just have the 2 rifles on them?
No, they're running out of ammo, and then you see this wall of,
and then they do shotguns, they do pistols. Eventually, he breaks out his antique elephant gun, and they literally shoot it together. And like the music, it's not horror movie music. It's like adventure action. It's like this uplifting swell of strings and wind instruments, and it's just like they did it. They made it. It's such
and Reba McEntire is so strong as a character in that too, because Michael Gross is already the over the top gun guy and everything, but she's right there with him on everything. When she holds him back, when she's like, just fucking settle down, he thinks he deserves everything. Like everything that she brings to it is just as valued as what he brings to it. And I love that when she's firing and she's like, magazine, and he throws her another clip. Like, it's so good because it doesn't do that thing where like one of them is dominating over the other.
We've never seen these characters before in any other movie. We've never seen them in any TV show, any other book or medium. These are the first time we're meeting them, and we already have an exact sense of how they met, why they're married. Like, it's all right there. That's good writing.
Yeah.
Good acting and good chemistry. Yeah, I really do think I'm starting to think this movie is lightning in a bottle. I think it's it's like Ghostbusters. Like, you could try to recreate it in a lab, or like Captain America, not the movie, but the actual Captain America. Solar serum. You know, the doctor, Stanley Tucci, he got it right that one time, and nobody can recreate it. You try to recreate it, you're gonna get a Hulk.
But that's why it's had 5 sequels, and that's why they tried to do a spin-off series, is the fact that, you know, with the first movie being that good, is you keep chasing that cherry high over and over again. And I like I said, I haven't seen the sequel, so I don't know the how good or bad they are. I'm sure they're never going to achieve this, but maybe they're just watchable because you loved Tremors so much.
It is. They are. I watched Tremors 3 many times, back to perfection. The monsters are called ass blasters. They grow wings and they actually fly. They fart fire that propels them, and then they have wings that allow them to glide. That's literally the plot. So they all go up to their roofs, and then they shoot their butt fire and they eat them. And you know who dies in Tremors 3? Hate to tell you, the Mexican citizen. What's his of perfection? Victor? Not Victor.
Victor might be right.
Yeah, the one that sets off the tractor. He dies. Miguel. He dies.
Then who's Victor?
Victor Wong, I think, plays what's his face, right?
Victor Wong plays Walter.
Walter, yeah.
Egg Chen.
From Three Ninjas. Yeah. Grandpa.
Egg Chen.
Egg Chen. Yeah, no, the movies are not the same, but I do watch them because there is that inherent.
It's a good night.
Yeah, but Kevin Bacon never came back. Fred Ward's in the second one. He's the lead. That, like, they make a whole thing about how he played second fiddle in the first one. And that was interesting.
And it's weird because there's that moment of where you think that his character is going to be the one who winds up with Rhonda. Like, he's the one who shows the initial interest in her. And it just seems like it could have gone either way. And then she did wind up hooking up with Val at the end. And Fred never gets upset. He's never like, oh, you know, I saw her first or anything, or I'm the one who was interested and you didn't give a shit because she's not blonde with huge breasts or whatever. His description is 5 descriptors.
All the way.
Like,
you will have. He's great. But no, yeah, he plays like a father figure / best friend figure. He's kind of playing both. The age difference is really interesting. Like, I can't think of this was a big Hollywood blockbuster movie. Kevin Bacon was pretty famous by this time. I remember the day I watched this. I watched it. I don't know why, but I watched it at my grandmother's on a Saturday afternoon with my mother and my grandma. Like, we literally just went over to grandma's to hang out for the afternoon, and this was on. And then the night before, we had watched Flatliners for the first time. And I'm 6.
Oh yeah,
6 years old, and Flatliners scared the fuck out of me. It was Julia Roberts, Oliver Platt. I didn't know who any of these people were. Kiefer Sutherland. I did not have any idea of who they were. The only one I remember was Kevin Bacon. And then the next day, Kevin Bacon was in Tremors. It's like, oh, I like this guy. And to this day, I've always been a big Bacon fan.
When he ran out into the middle of to the field and stuff, or not field because it's a desert, but he was running over to the edge of the cliff and everything. Did you just think he was going to do that dance in the dark like he did in Footloose? Like, where he's just going to start flipping around and stuff? Because I thought that would be terrific.
Yeah, that's the other thing. To me, Kevin Bacon, talk about like generations introductions to actors. Kevin Bacon was always the guy from Tremors and Flatliners. And I didn't see Footloose until I was like 25 years old. And I was just like, oh, I didn't even know he starred in Footloose. I've heard the song. I heard the movie. I never, like, to me, they're not equated in the same breath. Whereas,
the first thing I ever saw Kevin Bacon in, I would not have picked him out of a lineup from it. 13? But it was the "Thank you, sir. Can I have another?" from Animal House.
Yes.
Because I watched that a lot as a kid. But like, by the time that this came out, I had already seen Kevin Bacon doing weird, funny cameos and things like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Like, Kevin Bacon just fucking shows up, like Matt Damon does now.
Yeah, he kind of is the Matt Damon of the 80s, 90s.
There's a reason why there's the Oracle of Kevin Bacon of like 7 degrees separation of Bacon. The guy has been in fucking everything, or at least appeared with every person.
What's the Oracle of Matt Damon?
There should be an Oracle of Matt Damon.
No, because honestly, me and Dan in high school, we used to play 6 Degrees of Ben Affleck. because we didn't know Kevin Bacon's filmography as well, but we knew Ben Affleck's, especially because of Kevin Smith. So we played 6 Degrees of Ben Affleck all the time.
How much of it led through Armageddon?
Armageddon was big. Was it Sleepers?
Phantoms?
There was something he was in that we used for everything.
Phantoms?
Sleepers is probably our Kevin Bacon one.
Phantoms like a motherfucker.
Armageddon was a big one. Yeah, no, and Kevin Bacon's like 31 in this, and he looks he's playing like I would have thought his character was like 23.
Yeah, he's just so goddamn good looking.
He's good looking, he's handsome, he's charming, he's
He can pull off a cowboy hat and still have that long hair that just shines like golden hay, and
his hair was always perfectly feathered in this movie.
So good.
Just before his face turned into like a weathered catcher's mitt.
But and the fact that the female lead, that Rhonda, they let her not be super attractive. Like we're first introduced to her, and it's meant to be the disappointment to him of like she's not his dream girl, but she's attractive, absolutely. But they don't make her over the top because she's in a desert area. She's a student that's there for
seismologist.
She's got exactly. She's a nerd, and as much as us video game nerds would love to meet the beautiful, perfect, also video game nerd who loves horror movies and Tremors, we realize they are fewer and far between. It was perfect.
My wife.
And she's got the
they're
cream,
all on Pornhub.
cream on her nose, like the
sunscreen.
You want me to zinc your noodle?
Yeah, no, I could see a shittier movie easily have it just like fucking World Is Not Enough. Dr. Christmas Jones.
Oh God.
Not Denise Richards as a
oh God.
And like again, nothing. You're not even against her looks. You wouldn't be a world-class physicist no matter what you look like at age 21.
Highlights in her hair.
You'd still be in the undergrad. Unless you're like a Dookie Howser.
They really didn't try with the Pierce Brosnan movies though. It was
GoldenEye.
like that was. Let's go ahead.
GoldenEye, great. The other three.
You just like it because of the fucking video game.
No, it's a
GoldenEye's a
solid
good
Bond
movie.
movie. The soundtrack is great. It's got it introduces 90s M. Judi Dench is a better M in those movies.
Yeah, Judi Dench was amazing in that.
Soundtrack's great. Oh, you know why when people give me shit about GoldenEye, introduce a gadget into James Bond. Q introduces it in the beginning. Later on, he does it, and it does its thing, and that's it. There's no tension there. It's like, if you pull this string later on, a laser will shoot out. And I'm like, okay, great. Whereas the pen, click it once, it goes off. Click it twice, it doesn't. That's the only gadget I can think of in any of the 24 Bond movies that has its own storyline, where basically he keeps clicking it on and off, and Pierce Brosnan has to like keep count of, is this bomb armed or not? It's the first time where it's like knowing the Q introduction beforehand actually paid like a Chekhov's pen bomb. Anyway, I love those. That's a different podcast. That's our James Bond
podcast of action.
Yeah, but anybody who does a James Bond podcast has to get through the Timothy Dalton ones, and
I love the Timothy Dalton ones. That's another podcast.
I've never been able to sit through them. I've never watched them, and I've got a friend from Facebook that I've known for years that's her favorite Bond.
They're great.
And I'm like,
great Bond movies. They're the closest to the Daniel Craig ones. I'll tell you that. There's not one bad Bond movie. I will go to bat for that. Even Moonraker, Octopussy, they are fucking great movies.
Die Another Day.
Die Another Day has its moments. I would argue the Brosnan ones are the worst. I would say World Is Not Enough is probably the worst Bond movie.
Yeah, I'd say the Brosnan ones are the worst, yet I was so into him being Bond.
He's great.
After he got fucked by Remington Steele.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Should we I don't know. Do you guys have anything else to say about Tremors? I could talk about this movie forever. I love this movie.
Well, you'll be able to, because we'll eventually do our podcast where we write Tremor 7. Tremors in space with Nazis.
Yes. Oh my God. Anti-gravity graboids. Gravoids.
Flying through space because they're farting fire.
Yeah, right.
No oxygen in space. Me and Geoff were arguing about that during the movie when it eats the pipe bomb, would the fuse go out?
I don't think it's on fire.
Because Geoff tells me fuses are not. It's
fuses can go off underwater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not a chemist.
But if it's a fuse that you light, that's kind of a weird thing.
Doesn't
like a
it-
normal fuse.
I think that's the start of it. I don't know. Yeah,
I would
that's
think
a good
I think it
point.
needs oxygen, and I think if you were eaten by a giant slug, the pressure and the lack of oxygen would be enough to maybe put it out. You know, I've farted by candles and blown them out. They're not, you know.
Do
I
we know
can-
their etymology though? Do we know if you get swallowed, are you hitting their air sac first? And how deep was it into it before it went off?
And like, do they have gizzards? Are they like giant worms? These are the questions I need to know.
Because a lot of the stuff on them is passed through, because that's how they're going through the underground. Is that the rocks are going in and coming out at the same time? Otherwise, they would just get really massive anytime they tried to go more than 20 feet. They just sit there and then like, oh, I went half a block and now I have to wait until I shit 4 hours later.
Well, they don't eat the rocks. They move it. They move it with the little, the
They
little
have some
things
pretty
on the
big
side.
open mouths.
Their hairs.
You have big mouths.
So a fuse does not require oxygen because the oxidizer is contained within the fuse.
Oh.
That's why it can burn underwater.
It's designed
It's in there.
specifically so that it can burn.
So
without
so
oxygen.
the pipe bomb works. The pipe bomb.
Yep.
Okay.
Pipe bomb
Sexy.
hold.
The whole thing was because he said 15 seconds. I was like, why not just make it a minute and make sure he swallows the fucking thing?
Well, I also didn't want to spoil it for you. I knew he was going to spit it back up, but I didn't want to say, well, he'd spit it right back up.
And then you have a minute. to
Because
run
they
it back.
always spit or what?
They don't swallow. Well, one swallowed, one spit.
They were always very accurate with their spits.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
Like
true. The
both
fact that it went up on the rocks and then landed in the box of all the other pipe
Yep.
bombs was
Knew exactly.
that was that contrived
That was
convenient
the
moment.
hardest of them all. Although, so if you watch
I
the
mean,
Graboid sequels, and again, I've only seen the first half. I haven't seen 4, 5, or 6. The Graboid life cycle, those are the babies. They're only a few days old. They eventually then blow up themselves and release 3 eggs, and those 3 eggs become 3 bipedal. They look like chicken walkers that are deaf, but they can see in infrared. But eventually, if you let those live long enough, which they didn't in Tremors 2, they killed them off right away. In Tremors 3, you find out if you let those live long enough, so now they're alive for a week or 2, then they grow wings and shoot fire out their butts. I
Do you
don't
think
know-
it's trying a little hard to be like aliens, like the alien, the face huggers, the eggs, and all that stuff, and how it leads up into the actual
I would
alien
think
embryo?
Tremors 3, Back to Perfection, is the Prometheus of the
Oh
genre.
my god, I hate Prometheus.
Alien Covenant redeems it a little bit. It's not great.
Oh god, Alien Covenant was so shitty.
Yeah.
Because then you just have to get the part where there's 2 of them that they look exactly the same, and no one takes into account that this could be the same fucking android that's trying to kill you because they look exactly like. Oh, I'll just assume that you're the good guy. Wee, fucking morons. And half the movie is the same piece of shit that Covenant was, or that Prometheus was before it. So
Yeah.
it's just like, here's a repeat of the last movie, except for the twist.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
It was pretty much. Yeah. I don't love either of them.
No, that hurts.
I
my
would take
feelings.
Alien Resurrection over anything that's come after it.
I liked it.
Seriously.
Resurrection.
So would I. I think it's a solid movie. Whereas I don't think any of the
I
other.
thought I'd get more fluff for that.
You asshole!
You stupid-
Get out of my house!
Did Jack just banish you from his closet?
Oh. Get out of my closet!
Get out of my closet. Should we rate this?
Alien
It's.
Resurrection, like
I feel like it's getting very late. Granted, none of us have to go to work tomorrow. But
I have work.
What? What was our longest episode ever?
Matt Vincent.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. I think it was 3.5 hours.
We're not doing that.
What?
Let's rate the episode.
We are 2 hours and 37 minutes in right now.
All right, let's
Like,
rate.
we will gladly have you guys back to do the longest episode ever if you want any time.
Yeah, we can just start earlier in the day.
I would love to
And-
get the shortest episode ever. I think that's a great great record to strive for.
26 minutes is the shortest one we've had.
I can top that.
Oh, easily. Oh, never mind. If you count the news only episode, 8 minutes.
I can do
a
that.
pot
But I
shot.
have to take 3 pee breaks.
I could make an 8-minute episode while taking 3.
But in that episode, we're gonna make you do the entirety of the Stand miniseries.
Oh my god. I would love to talk about The Stand. Is that a horror? I guess that is a horror.
Mhm.
That's a sync points I've been wanting to do forever, but maybe it'll have to be a podcast terror instead.
But who's watching that? Why would you do a sync points to it?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a long thing to do.
Don't poke holes into me and Dan's model here.
Yeah.
If you look
I-
behind, there's nothing to listen to.
Like I said, I would listen to it completely. I would begin to end.
I tried the sync points. I got real tired when no one was jerking off.
Wait a second. Why would I want to hear Jack talk about the stand? This whole thing is a charade. Barely talking about Tremors. He just says how much he likes it. What am I doing? Why am I giving this guy $10 a month on Patreon?
Holy shit, is that how much I'm giving you?
No, not you.
I don't know. Sometimes I get drunk and give you more of my money.
No, I can tell when you give us less.
Get prepared because it's about to happen.
That's all right. You gave me that free beer.
That's true.
Where's Jeff's free beer?
I drank it.
Jeff, you want some beer?
No, I don't want free.
I'll send you beer, Jeff. I'm not like that.
That was very much the Why Not Zoidberg of
Yeah.
I still have that.
I'm not hearing a no.
Jeff would be better than I at that, like sending you local New York brews.
Yeah, I had a better chance of winning the lottery than you or Dan sending me beer at this point.
I would do it in a heartbeat if I could do it.
I do give you $10 a month, you prick.
Oh, really? Thank you. That's very nice.
Not for long.
Your,
Nope, not with that attitude, Jack. Let's go. Let's see what's the lowest. $1. Let's go ahead and save me $9 a month right here.
Yeah, do it. I dare you.
No.
Fucking dare you.
God damn it! What? No.
you cut down your donation.
I see what you're doing. By the end of this,
and you just see Jack's lights go off in the middle of the show.
By the end of this, I'm going to be giving Jack $100 a month. I'm like, well, he challenged me. I had no choice.
Double dog there.
Wait, hold on. Give me 1 second.
Smoking's for winners.
Matt, did you click confirm? Did you just drop it from 10 to 1?
No.
For the sake of the bit, say yes.
Yes,
I did. Oh no, my light. Oh no.
If you're listening to this, Jack's lights turned off because I stopped giving him $9 a month.
Everybody has to clap their hands to bring back the lights to Wii Studios.
We should constantly, every 10 minutes, ask if you're listening to this because
our solid gold is back.
That's a completely different color than it was 2 minutes ago.
Solid gold because we have solid gold walls.
I thought it was
Jeff looks very
recognition of your. I thought it was in recognition of your next pee break.
I don't know why he likes this better than characters.
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus, this is what happened.
I put it back to where it was the
Platinum
whole
now.
3 hours. You
Oh,
asshole.
there it is. Now it looks normal. Wow, calm down, you prick.
Sorry, I got a little that got out of hand.
Don't worry. Maybe
So Matt was asking for a rating.
my face is tingly.
Who goes first? You go first. I go first. Who goes first?
You two. One of you two.
Yeah, Jeff's been dominating the conversation this entire time. So Jack, I think.
Yeah, Jeff. Let the rest of us talk a little bit here.
A little.
I'll shut up, and then we get these weird, awkward silences.
All right, cool.
For this show, it's not that weird.
Take a drink of water. Jeff, you can go first. Jesus, Jack's got to pee again?
That was a beer break.
Oh my God. How are you friends with this guy?
You want me to go first? How do we even...
Yeah.
Finish my coffee.
Oh, yeah, you probably have never ever listened to the 0 to 5 scale. Just
Yeah, we're not as complicated as this fucking Wii Studios asshole.
literally do whatever you want.
You don't break it down into...
Nope,
I don't
not
even-
anymore. Got sick and tired of doing that.
They went from the hippo scale to.
Yeah, eh,
Did you like it or did you hate it?
pretty much.
I mean, look, Amazon only asks for 1 to 5 stars. They don't break it down.
I want to give it a 5. I
Yes,
do
it-
like this movie, but I know I did get tired of watching it at some point. So I'm
It
gonna have
felt
to-
very long, in my opinion.
Yeah, 96 minutes. It's
'Cause
a
I
real
mean-
Gone with the Wind.
But
It was-
that's the thing, is like it's not long at all. But I remember checking, and it was like 45 minutes left. I was like, "How is there that much movie left?"
Yeah, maybe that is the slow build up that you were talking about and stuff like that. It just takes its toll.
Yeah.
I guess a 4.
Just the
Yeah,
worst.
it's
fucking
the Schindler's
story ever.
List of giant war movies.
Jack, how about you?
0?
You said it. It's on the books. You gave it a 0.
No, honestly, I tweeted this out while we were watching the movie. If a gun to my head, somebody was like, make a list of your top 20, 25 movies of all time. I don't know what I don't know what the list would be. That would be a very hard list to make, and it would be very hard to see who makes the cut. But Tremors would make the cut.
A lot of Ryan Reynolds films on that list, but
it'd be Deadpool.
Give yourself a lot of leeway with 20, 25 top movies
out of the thousands and thousands of movies.
I understand, but no one says go around give me what are your top 25?
Top 25 is a reasonable because you got your Star Wars, you got your Indiana Jones, you got there's a lot going on there. That's like 6 right there.
That's like for a stupid clickbait essay that some asshole wrote with a.
Well, Jack's only friend on social media is the BuzzFeed Twitter account. So
no, just right. Clickbait is a very small part of the internet. It's a very new, very niche it's a way to describe pop culture.
I hope your watch is going batshit crazy right now.
Why is my watch going crazy right now? What are you doing?
Because I'm fucking liking every one of your Twitter posts just to annoy you.
Like my Venmo post. That's what I do to everybody now. You ever open up Venmo and you can see everybody's transactions, even if you had nothing to do with it? It's just like
I don't even have a Venmo.
Of course you don't. Jesus Christ. Never mind.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Matt lives in Wisconsin. They don't share bills for meals. They just go out and slaughter a cow together.
Or do you use Venmo?
No, I don't. I work with a bunch of engineers, and one of the engineers is like every time we get a bill for lunch, he wants to do his own fucking equation to figure out who owes what. He's always wrong. But we've just allowed him to continue on for some fucking reason. Like, and we constantly say, like, shit, why do we let Greg do this? And then when Greg's not even there, we do it anyways. It's like we could the waitress offers, hey, we can split the bill for you. Is that okay? And we all just say no. And we feel stupid. Like we're just shooting ourselves in the it's like it's a Russian roulette at the table at that point of like, I don't know why we're doing this, but we have to.
People play Russian roulette. They put their credit cards in like a hat, and whoever gets whatever credit card the waitress. I can't do that because
right.
Jack's broke as fuck.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep losing Patreon. Listen, they keep going from $10 to $1.
Do you think it's because people have listened to your show?
They just wanted a good, clean podcast. They don't know what they were doing.
I was giving him money, and then one day I fucking put it on, and oh shit!
Oh, God, this isn't has anything to do with anything. I would give it a 5.
That took a real long time to get to that.
Just fix it in post. Jack, what do you think? 5.
5.
Oh my God, this
Corey, how about you?
Do I get to play the part of Dan and give my number, and then Jack adjusts his?
Sure. Yeah, we can try that.
I'm not gonna go 5, but I'm gonna go 4.5.
What are you doing? Let's do that. I'm going 6.
Oh, we can go halves. I gotta go.
I'm doing 5.5.
I go.
Yeah, you can work in fractions. You can work in decimals.
Change yours?
What's that?
I said you can do halves. Are you going to change yours?
Yes, 4.5.
Wow.
5.
Well, I don't see.
5 point. Well, use letter grades, you assholes. B+ to A-.
This whole thing is a fucking calculus equation.
I gave it an S.
Corey, let's get Greg in here.
It needs improvement.
Let's have Greg figure out what we all think it. Use this formula. Can we get separate ratings?
Everyone gets to choose their own rating scale.
I'm giving it a 5 plus a 25% tip.
I don't think the government taxes ratings though.
Mine is an eggplant emoji, but upside down.
Holy shit! I don't know how to do an eggplant on a computer. I'm having a hard time doing Jack's 25% tip over here. Tip.
Okay.
Jack's down for 5 plus a 25% tip.
Wait, were you trying to find out what 25% of 5 was?
No, I was fucking typing into a Google sheet.
Let me just put this into my Texas Instruments over here.
He's also going to figure out what the tax is in New York.
TI 85 and just playing Snake.
Close to 25%.
Playing Drug Dealer.
Oh, I fucking
Remember
love
that
game. Drug Lord.
Drug
Lord,
I did enjoy that game.
Yeah, the calculator game was fun too.
It was so easy. Just go from
you just buy low, sell high. It's not that hard.
Some guy's selling cheap cocaine. Buy as much as you can.
You buy as much as you can. You go somewhere else. You sell
And
it
then
for
you
an
go
inflated.
back on the train and
Matt, what do you
Yep,
give
yep.
what do you give Tremors on the old Richter scale here?
I only gave it a 3.5.
All right. So what is that? What's the average? What do we got?
really.
We don't
Corey give
average
it?
shit. God
We
damn
got
it.
2
Okay.
4.5 to 5.
I'll average
We
them.
have Crux numbers, and Tremors is coming
17.5.
out at number 107.
So it comes in
Movie of all
between Lisa,
So-
you're a whore, and Bark, get your finger out of that.
Homer the
Jesus. So the average is a 4.375, but I did not equate for Jack's 25% tip.
it's okay. It's under the table.
Yeah. So I mean, Tremors.
We
is
don't
a
want to
very
fuck
good
up their
movie.
health care. All right. We don't want to ruin it.
Next week on Podcast of Terror, we'll be covering. What is this? That's the part.
Absolutely nothing at all because I'm taking a month off at least.
Right. Yeah, those weeds.
Weeds aren't going to pull themselves, kids. Jack, do you just want to read the outro? Or you've pretty much hosted the show.
I've said for the last year and a half since he offended my father that Jack is a co-host of the show.
I would never be co-host because Corey's stepdad will never accept it.
No, Corey's stepdad doesn't accept him, so it's fine. You're okay. You're in good shape.
I curse too much.
Yeah, that happens. That happens when you come here. It's like you show up, you just start swearing.
It's the old longshoreman in my DNA.
Because you've been fucking a lot of longshoremen?
It's like,
Supposed to spit.
gotta keep those lights on somehow, boys.
You treat it like a pipe bomb. You blow that shit
You're
out.
only giving us $1 a month on Patreon.
Maybe if you swallowed all.
Oh,
Wait, so-
no.
So, if you guys aren't doing another episode next week, how do we close the show? What are we doing?
I'm waiting for Corey to start reading the outro.
Oh, you were asked Jack to do it. I was going to let Jack do it.
Jack doesn't. I didn't send Jack the document. Jack doesn't. Jack,
Why'd you lead with the information then? Why'd you say that? Why'd you lie to me?
Here. This is what I'm gonna do.
That's why we're taking the time off.
Can I plug my new business before we close?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jack, there's the outro. Read it.
Oh God, I gotta multitask here. Give me 10 minutes. I gotta pee.
Yep, that's fine. We'll wait 45 seconds.
What do you send it on text?
Nope. On
I'm
Google.
going to make sure that he's got access to be able to see it.
He has a computer next to him.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to share from Google Docs, you dick.
God, no! I literally copied it and pasted it into the chat.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I think he fell asleep.
He's peeing.
Oh.
He's actively
Oh,
peeing on the couch.
Oh God, I'm clicking on the links like an idiot.
No, don't do that, you dildo.
You can contact us by leaving us a voicemail at 805-328-3966. Email us at POT, that's P-O-T, at gncast.com, or by leaving a message on the website, parentheses, call to action.
We used to have a call to action.
Yeah.
There was actual ever put in the show at one point. We had sponsors and shit.
But in the meantime, if we're not calling to action, you can always follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Podcast of Terror. You guys have the same name for all three platforms. It's something we should have done at We Studios. And also subscribe to the podcast via iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or any of your other favorite podcatchers, and leave us feedback on whichever one you like, or more than one. http://bit.ly/POT review. All subscription options and links can be found at http://gncast.com/subscribe. Finally, you can join us on our Facebook page under Galactic Network and give us money. Amazon.podcast of terror. It was like podcast after podcastofterror.com. If a guest,
I want to point out the consistency. Jack can never get the Amazon link right, no matter what show it is.
That's true.
He'll never get the Amazon link correct.
Working for Amazon.com, and they'd be like, just say Amazon.com. But no, give us money at Amazon.podcastofterror.com. And if a guest, Geoff, where can we find you? Social, etc.
No.
Okay. And,
No.
Your guide
don't.
here doesn't have a contingency for hostile witnesses here.
You want to see hostile?
My personal social is at Jackie No Breaks, and please, if you're gonna follow me on one thing, follow me at the podcast at either We Studios WEE Studios Pod or at Worst Episode Pod. Dan picked the name. Then it's no podcast terror. The Simpsons podcast would have been a much better handle, but what are you gonna do? At Worst Episode,
are you allowed to do that?
Somebody did it.
The Simpsons podcast.
One of the other Simpsons podcasts did it. But We Studios Pod, Worst Episode Pod, just go to wepodcast.com. That's where you can find Worst Episode Ever, our Simpsons podcast. It comes back this Thursday, May 31st. We're going to do a 13-week run probably of just a new episode every single week.
Fucking big news break here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, breaking news. That's happening. 90s percentile will probably be back at some point. Sync points will be at some point.
Jack, you guys had a newsletter at one point. I didn't get any fucking emails from you saying you're updating your privacy status or all that.
No. Please sign up at wepodcast.com where we will sell your data to the highest bidder. And we don't care where it
or
goes.
lowest bidder.
No, lowest bidder. Whoever gives us money for your private information, we will give it to you. Social security numbers, credit card numbers, whatever.
If you support their Patreon for $10 a month, Jack will send you some of his pee from this episode.
The more money you support us with on Patreon, the more money we get by selling your data. So please just keep up $50, $100 donations. That's fine. But no, I'm starting a new business. I created the website today. I haven't worked on it at all. But I've been getting a lot of DMs from fans and listeners of the show asking me for advice on screenwriting and notes on their screenplays and stuff. So what I decided to do is I will start giving notes to people's screenplays. So if you want to send me a draft, a first draft, second draft, whatever you have of a TV pilot or a movie script, I will be charging for my services. I can't do it for free, but it'll at least get me back in the game. And I've won awards for writing, and I've gotten all my friends and all my colleagues come to me for notes. I'm a better editor than writer, maybe. So if you want some really serious notes, I'll give you, I'll go page by page. I'll do exactly what I do with the Simpsons podcast. I'll go page by page, leave you some notes, and then give you a nice 1,000-word summarization of notes, feedback, stuff like that. So I haven't created the website yet. If this airs by Tuesday, but just DM me on Twitter or Reddit or whatever, and let me know. This isn't like a business. This is like guitar lessons on the telephone pole. Notes by Jack. So I have a name for it. I don't want to I'll give it away, even though I haven't worked on the website yet, but it's going to be called Me Script Read Good. So
I do feel like we've undersold how fucking talented you are at this episode. And I say that as a person who is in love with your podcasts, both of them, and enjoys listening to you more than just about anything else in my week is when I see you guys pop up with a new episode, either of 90s percentile or Worst Episode Ever. I just get overjoyed. That said, yes, Jack has won awards for his writing. He has done a lot of amazing stuff. He does this for his job as well. Like, legit, if you are interested in script writing at all and you're looking for guidance, I would 100% recommend it.
Don't forget the balls when you're sucking his dick.
I have no gag reflex.
I appreciate it, and Corey's right. I'm amazing. So I'll give you notes, and we can. My fees are very, very reasonable because I will be selling all of your data to the highest bidder,
and because you live in a closet.
Script Cambridge Analytica, they're trying to transition right now into like an Amazon Studios type situation. So I will I'll plagiarize whatever you send me. So again, that's at Jackie No Breaks.
Jackie Steal Scripts.
Yeah, JackieStealScript.com. Jackie Take Credit.org. So eventually, by the time this comes out, maybe I'll have my shit together. I doubt it though. When my weekend's going.
No, this is totally gonna probably come out tomorrow.
That's fine
because it's gonna be hot, and I'm not gonna edit any of this.
I don't have the time or energy to really make it like a mom and pop business here. It's just DM me. We'll figure something out.
Send him those dick pics.
Get it early before he smartens up and starts charging real money for it.
That's all he's gonna get.
Jesus
Corey,
Christ, 12 notifications on my Twitter.
Yeah, hey, I told you. Select them all. Corey, where can people find you? Take your sweet time. We need this to last about 96 seconds.
Jesus Christ! Don't tell my wife.
Heyo.
Man, I've had a rough couple weeks, so I haven't been able to perform much as I would like to. But coming up, hopefully, I'm going to be able to get back to some of my other podcasts that I do. One of which is Else Nerds with my friend Gregor Sprague and our producer Beatmaster. We just did an episode all about Avengers: Infinity War, where we had a nice roundtable with some guests, which was a lot of fun. And usually we just talk about geek news, geek stuff, that kind of shit. And I'm sure there's no shortage of those on the internet. Nope. The other one I do is over at Ink Geek Studios. It's a show that I help spear launch some words thing called Solutions to Fix the Universe. Go to stfucast.com. It will take you to the site there.
I know. Where we don't realize it was Think Geek.
No, Ink Geek.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, Think Geek would be amazing, and I would be far too talented to come and hang out with you fucks. But instead, it's a couple of assholes. Yeah, fuck you. You're taking a month off to mow your lawn.
If Think Geek, if
big bitch,
it was a Think Geek branded podcast, and I found out that Corey Scott was a host, I would go, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I would totally have you guys be a part of it too. So
no, Corey would be sipping champagne out of shoes or something weird.
I do not have it in me to lead any of these things. That's why I always have cool partners, people that I like and believe in a lot more than I can believe in myself.
That's why I bring Jack.
But since we're sucking dick, or you're selling yourself short, trust me.
Whatever. Solutions Fix the Universe. It's a fun show for me because it's more philosophical in nature. We tackle a random problem. The first one happened to be ass to mouth. The later ones go into more serious subjects. We're going to be doing a hopefully monthly episode going forward about the 7 deadly sins. And so this coming week, we should be talking about lust.
That's awesome.
That's where I'm going to just hold up pictures of Jack the entire time.
I would like to point out that this is the second episode ever to go over 3 hours.
I'm so sorry, guys. I promised Geoff would be 90 minutes.
I'm not upset at all. I expected this to happen.
He has a very
Geoff, because
Geoff shouldn't have been such a blabbermouth.
Yeah. Yeah, talk less, Geoff. Now I feel bad.
Think Geoff talked more on this podcast than he did in all the Wii's combined.
I forced him to talk while you were taking your multiple pee-pee breaks.
No, that's not true. Dan always lets Geoff talk.
I don't know if that's a joke or not, but I just wanted Geoff to feel included.
Oh.
Maybe next time I play PUBG and I play like garbage, he won't be so upset.
Yeah, he will.
I know he will.
Speaking of playing PUBG,
what else? He doesn't get upset.
No, but
I mostly get upset with myself.
Yes, and I'm the same exact way where I don't care how anyone else does. Like you and I were talking about soccer earlier. Is like I don't care if my team loses. I care if I play poorly.
Right.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I get it.
I haven't done this in a while. I gotta start doing it again. My biggest joy in playing
shaving your asshole.
Well, the beginning of the game is you're running through houses looking desperately for guns and ammo and stuff. My favorite thing to do was always to slam the door in your face. So like when you would be like right behind me and I would just close the doors right in your face. Or like if we were in a little room together and we were leaving and I would just close, like, there's people outside where like we're getting bombed, we're getting shot at, the blue circle's coming and I just close the door in your face.
I just count my blessings that we're not a team like that.
When we're in a Jeep,
hoarding health and guns.
When we're in a Jeep and we're driving, I don't know if you realize this. The whole time I'm just aiming my gun in your face, just going, "Is this once?" Just no one would ever know.
just hit a bump and shoot him in the head. It's all over.
Oh, I shot Marvin in the face. Oops.
Fun.
I'm playing PUBG.
Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna think twice about the next time you guys want to play.
On the BQE and gets home in 2 hours.
Might be dead. Might be dead on my couch.
Oh, God willing.
Yeah, right. Let's say a little prayer and hopefully I can die in my sleep tonight. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Untapped and Matt the Lifeguard. Geoff, Jack, thank you very, very much. It was a shit ton of fun.
Thanks for having us. I'm glad you always put up with my nonsense.
And my nothing.
Oh, I was talking to Geoff, but also, but you guys, thank you so much. Sorry if I took over the show. If my
I don't give a shit.
My host, my oh no, I've done enough pots
Took like
now.
a 10
I've done
minute-
enough. Like this is what my 6th, 7th
10-minute
podcast.
bathroom break. And just,
Let me see here.
Did I make the 5 Timers Club? Anyway,
Yes.
I've done enough of these where now I recognize the part of the show. It's usually when we're about 15 minutes into talking about the movie, where Matt has gotten too drunk to function as a podcast host. He just sits there and he goes, yeah. Or like eventually he'll make some kind of amazing insight, but it's to a completely different conversation.
he's just on his computer on Reddit or something.
Or
He's not wrong. And Jack, this is your 7th time.
oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Holy shit. Over the years. Well, okay.
Oh, I just did Owen. Wow.
Wow. You were first on.
We did Gremlins too.
Yep. March 15th, 2016.
Known you guys 2 years, huh?
Yeah. Holy shit.
And that was the 30th episode.
Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah.
And this is our 130th episode.
Oh, wow.
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 Wow. Wow. Wow. Wow. There's a great at work I was sending we were trying to one up each other, sending each other wow videos. Like every lightsaber replaced with a wow. And then somebody sent me every wow replaced with a different wow. It was so fucking funny. It's just a bunch of Owen Wilson clips with different Owen Wilson audio clips over.
Oh,
Wow.
Can they replace every Keanu Reeves saying "whoa" with the "wow"?
Whoa. Wow.
Wow. There's a gif of a
Like,
girl.
when the time comes, you won't have to dodge bullets. Wow.
that would have been a different movie.
You are the 6th incarnation. Therefore, ergo, the Matrix has always been your universe. Wow.
Oh, jeez.
I just love that Jack is a living meme.
Yeah, he is. He really is.
That's why his friend is BuzzFeed.
So I think Jack, you're our most decorated guest.
That's a one adjective you could use.
Yeah, like
nothing wrong
Bukaki.
with that. Nothing like a little Jack cocky. Boo-jacky?
You just got jacked.
Jacked. You just got jacked. What's that when 35 men jizz on your face?
What's the exact number?
Don't send to
Wait, that's not the definition of Jack?
I always assume that when you got jacked, it's because a bunch of dudes just jizzed on your face.
Wow.
Wow. All right, Geoff has to drive 6.5 hours to get home, so we should probably finish this.
That's the oh god damn.
What was the record for longest podcast of terror?
3.5 hours.
We can't make that. That's
No, it's a little too much.
He says, sipping gloriously into the mic.
Yeah.
Are we any closer? No? Oh, shit.
I
No.
by the way, guys, I say this every episode. I love the backgrounds you have for your I watch the evolution of your man cave, Matt.
I love Luigi.
Thank you.
Yeah, your room looks great, and Corey always sells it. I love that painting in the background.
My wife's zombie painting.
Yeah, no, it's like, to me, it's burned. It's like burned into my brain now because I've watched so much podcasts with terror.
I really
The
love
least offensive painting that she's done.
That's true. I really love the weird leather jacket that's hanging on your wall.
God, I did not want to leave that there. I just literally ran out of space in my cave, and I was like, I can't leave that there. I have like a dozen framed, my old apartment used to be was decorated so nicely. I have all this great stuff. I have a real Picasso stacked up somewhere above my loft, and I just wanted to hang this stuff up, and I tried to hang it up, and it was just it was too much work, and I'm not good with drilling nails and stuff. I was trying with hooks and stuff.
You don't drill nails.
That's why he's not good at it.
Yeah. But anyway,
I said it wasn't good.
The way the setup is with the lease and like the landlord, like I'm pretty much just like subletting and I'm like getting a really good rate, but it's not a home. It's like not even worth putting anything up.
Take the nail out, you put a little putty and done.
Anyway, I've decided very recently to just make my life easier by just hanging shit up wherever I can, even if it's just unsightly. So it makes my life easier.
I've watched enough tiny home HGTV shit to know that one, those people are fucking crazy, and two, yeah, you work with what you have in that kind of situation.
I'm paying right now to be in where I am in Williamsburg, I'm probably paying like 3-4 times less than anybody around me. Is it small, especially compared to my old place? Yeah, but it's certainly livable. Like, you know, I just got spoiled, and if I was living somewhere else, I could be living a lot better, but it's not miserable. It's like, you know, especially where I am, it is a good spot. I know plenty of people with a lot less space. That said, they usually have a bigger common room or something, but fuck common rooms. Like if you're sharing a living room with 3 roommates, how much of a personal space is it? You know,
right.
I really miss having a common space. It sucks that Geoff right now is sitting on my bed. But privacy, to me, the privacy and the low cost is worth it.
Yeah, Jeff's gonna walk out of there pregnant, but that's fine.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I do jizz a lot on
Jack come everywhere.
The cushion. this
I
general
like how this general area is Jeff's face.
this general area.
Geoff sat down and it just made like a crunching sound.
No, it's fresh stuff.
Will it break?
Just only pee break was going and doing a pregnancy test.
Oh, it's raining again.
Oh, raining Jack jizz from a lacerated sky.
I tweeted a couple hours ago. I found out we can directly message each other on Xbox through our phones, which is way easier than doing it.
Oh.
So I went to go download the Xbox app, and I opened the App Store, and it's like, you should try Bumble. And I was like, I don't want a girlfriend. I want video games. What are you doing? Get this out of here. I think I am.
I'm gonna message you on Xbox right now.
34-year-old man. I don't need female companionship. I need a better way to upload my screenshots. What do you think?
False. You bring some good screenshots to this relationship.
I do all right. Jeff's got the good ones.
I don't think I have any
not screenshots, videos, clips, etc. That's not important.
The last message I have from you, Jack, is just Geoff crap out.
So that's a video.
Oh, it is a video.
I gave him shit about that title.
So Corey, you really should. Corey, you got to get an Xbox. You got to get in on this. So this PUBG invented the battle royale genre, but I'm telling you, this is here to stay. Every video game is going to be doing this. It's basically what Doom and GoldenEye did for first-person shooters. Yeah. It's what GoldenEye did for first-person multiplayer. Like every game is going to be PUBG in the next 5 years. And what it does is it shrinks the map gradually throughout the match. So the 100 players that drop have no choice but to like confront each other. And if when they close the map down, if you're locked out, you die. Anyway, this particular game on Xbox that me, Matt, and Geoff play, it's a test game. It's not really, it's a beta. And it keeps crashing. And when it crashes, you can get back in the game. You can get back in the server, but it takes you a few minutes. You can't control your guy. You're at the mercy of, like, if you're just standing there, you're going to get shot. So Geoff is driving me out of the blue zone into the safe zone. And he always craps out when he's driving because it's taxing the system. And he just craps out. So suddenly I'm just in a runaway train, just headed. And he's like, I still have him in my chat, my mic. And he's just like, I'm out of the game. I'll be back in like 3 minutes. And I was like, well, you're driving and I can't get out. So I'm just like at your mercy. And I was like, all right, you're on good, like literally the path you're going at. If you we're going to make it safely into the zone and we'll be all right by the time you get back. We should be good. And as I say that, he just hits a tree and the car just like slowly just spins a 180 and just starts going back in the opposite direction into the dead zone. And because it's moving so slowly as it turns, I'm just like, all right, I'm done. So I drop out and I just watch Geoff drive away into
the sunset.
And like, it's just, yeah, it's kind of a had to be there thing, but it's basically like this fucking game just lives to frustrate you and to rub it in your face just how frustrating it is.
And then you come back for more.
And the clip I said, Matt, is like the perfect like encapsulation of that.
Yeah, so that's what I need in my life.
Yeah, I got one where I'm standing on behind the wall and a car drives through the wall, me, the house behind me, and it just goes through all
Corey,
of it.
you need more.
because the-
You need more waste of a time, and you need a bigger frustration in your life. You need more stress. Oh, and your heart rate in those final circles. I read about actual military vets who come back and play this game, and they get PTSD while playing this game. So Corey, this is right up your alley. You got to get in.
That's true. That's true.
You ever want to treat yourself for fun?
No, this is why I love the game. The fact that it's 100 players. You play a Call of Duty match. I played Call of Duty all the time 10 years ago, and like I played for weeks. Like I amassed weeks of playtime, and I played thousands of matches, and they were all the fucking same. They're all the same. This is a completely dynamic game where anything can happen. It's the closest to me. I think it's like playing paintball. It's like playing paintball, but you can play 10 matches a night from the comfort of your couch. Is that fair?
Very.
Like I'm wearing a PUBG shirt. I'm a fucking full convert. I am a full convert.
I think we should end the show right there.
Okay.
I'm wearing a pizza shirt, so I feel like I can understand what you're talking about.
Thanks for having us, guys.
Next time on Podcast of PUBG.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna start doing from now on.
I appreciate being on your guys' show. I appreciate talking to you guys privately about whatever the fuck, and I appreciate playing video games with you, Matt and Geoff.
Yeah, no, it's I love it.
Sure.
Sure.
Thank you for letting me.
Says nothing complimentary or in thanks at all. It's just like I was here.
Thanks, Ants.
Yes, Geoff, go home. It's fucking super duper late. But thank you both for coming. And that is going to do it for another episode of the podcast here. And we will talk to you guys next week. Or
not next week.
The next whenever the fuck we put out an episode.
Yeah, exactly. So until that time.
Hey, if we ever do another 90s percentile, instead of getting you guys separately, even though we'd like to spread out our guests, what if we got you guys on together?
Deal. We'll take team. Corey and I will be naked like Ace and Gary. We'll just sit down and roll.
I don't know if
what are you guys looking at?
I don't think there's anything ambiguous about us, but okay.
Nope. I don't know when or if season 2 of 90s P will be back, but when it does, we're going to do an episode with both of you guys on together.
Deal.
Sounds great. Absolutely. All right. Until next time, everybody, stay scary.
Bleh.
Bleh. All right. I'm going to stop YouTube. So Growly beat maybe Kevin. I don't even know who else is there.
Oh, thanks everybody for sticking around the chat. I didn't even think to look at it. I was still fixated on this.
It's fine. It's just a bunch of people telling you about how dumb you are. All right. I'm stopping YouTube.